Calling of the 12 tribes to the east.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Bunyamin.
Dan.
Yasharala.
Yahweh. Allah Hayanawa. Yahweh. So, turn. Drive to the south. Shamai one. Yashakar. Zabala one. Shamai. Yasharala. Yahweh. Allah Hayanawa. Yahweh. So, turn to the west. Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Shammai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, okay. So, turn to the north. Roma, Yahawada, Loya, Shammai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, okay. So, turn. Sabbath day blessings in the Lashon Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Blessed be Yahweh in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Hawa'al, Natan Lanawa, HaShabbat, Bashalom. Blessed be Yahweh in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai that gives us the law. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Hawa'al, Natan Lanawa, HaTherah. Blessed be Yahweh in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai that gives us the light to see. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Hawa'al, Natan Lanawa, Ha'awor, Laka'ah. Blessed be Yahweh in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai that gives us the ram horns to call the people. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Natan Lanawa, Ha'awor, Ha'ayal, Karan, Lakra'ah, Ha'ain. Blessed be Yahweh in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Hawa'al, Natan Lanawa, Hashaman, Zayath, Lamashak, Yasha'ala, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, the water, the yard, Amen.
The book of Psalms, chapter 92 and verse 1. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Yahweh, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, has made me glad through thy work. have a triumph in the works of thy hands. O Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth the fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they should be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the works of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall I exhort like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ear shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the course of our power. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, but there's no righteousness in him. The word of God. Amen.
Aman. This is the Ten Commandments in the last one. Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. La'ah. Yahaya. Laka. Alahain. Achorim. Aponya. La'ah. Ta'isha. Laka. Pasal. Wala'ah. Ta'ibadam. La'ah. Talapakov. Sham. Yahweh. Bashawa. Zakar. Hayawam. Hashabah. Lakodashwa. Kabad. Amaka. Wa Amaka. La'a. Turatazak. La'a. Tana'a. La'a. Badana. La'a. Ta'ino. Shakor. La'a. Fakamad. Ko. Asharah. La Ra'aika. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahweh. The water. The God. Amen.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them or serve them. For I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the father upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me, keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy power in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and honored it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days will be long upon the land which Yahweh thy father giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. The word of God.
Aman. Psalms 121 in the last one. Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Anasha. Ayim yim yam. Ayo. Ahoryam. Ma'ayan. Yabwa'a. Isaiah. Yabwa'a. Mayahawa. Shaisha. Shamayam. Wa'arataza. La'a. Yanatan. Lamawat. Ragalia. Yala'a. Nawam. Shashawama. Hana. Yala'a. Nawam. Wala'a. Yashan. Shashawama. Yasharala. Yahweh. Samaria. Yahweh. Tazalia. Al. Yad. Hashamash. Yala'a. Hakaya. Bayawam. Wala'a. Halabana. Balayala. Yahweh. Yashamaya, Mako, Rai, Yashamar, Napashya, Yahweh, Shamaria, Hawalakia, Wamuaya, Maita, I will love Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, the water, the yard, Amen.
The book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 1 in English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper, Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Hashem Yahweh Shai. The water of Yah. Man.
Amen. This is the Lord's Prayer and the last one, Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Baba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Waharatazah, Kawa, Hawahaya, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Loko, Kayawom, Wasalat Nawa, Kabawat Nawa, Kasalat Nawa, Kabawati Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Bansai One, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa'ara, Lai Walumium, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, the water, the yard, Aman.
Book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore pray ye. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. The Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. The water of God. Amen.
Aman. Psalms, chapter 133, last one, Kodash, repeat the Hebrew. Shayar, Amalaiwa, Ladawad, Anam, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Nayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gum, Yachad, Chashaman, Hatawab, Ayo, Araash, Yarad, Al, Azakwan, Zakwan, Aharan, Shayarad, Ayo, Paya, Wadawatiwa, Kato, Karamwan, Shayarad, Ayo, Haraya, Tazawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazwa, Yahweh, Ath, Habaraka, Kayam, I Walam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the God, Amen.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment, has the dew of Hermon, and has the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. But there Yahweh commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Hashem Yahushua, the water of the yard, Amen.
Amen. Psalms 150 to praise. Praise ye the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh in the sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh according to his excellent greatness. Praise Yahweh with the sound of the trumpet. Praise Yahweh with the psaltery and harp. Praise Yahweh with the timbrel and dance. Praise Yahweh with string instruments and organs. Praise Yahweh upon the loud cymbals. Praise Yahweh upon the high sounding cymbals. Let everything that have breath praise the Most High. Praise Yahweh Bahasham Hamashak Yahweh Shai. The water, the yard, man. Abanawa Yahweh, we come to you, the humble heart, mind, and soul. We thank you, Lord, for blessing us with this Shabbat day once again, that we are commanded to gather together, O Yahweh, Lord, as a holy convocation, and to read through the word, O Yahweh. For your word was sent for the healing of the nation, O Most High. We ask, Lord, that you forgive us for our transgressions, whether presumptuous or through ignorance, O Yahweh. We ask that you pour out your spirit, Lord, that you encamp your angels, O Yahweh, and you allow us, our minds to be open, Lord, to receive your law with sincerity and truth. Thank you for all the souls in this room. Thank you for allowing us to make it through another week of being here in captivity, O Yahweh. And we ask, Lord, that you continue, Lord, to pour out your spirit in these last days, that the gospel may reach the four corners of the earth, O Yahweh, Lord, and that we may be delivered out of this captivity. Bahasham Mashak Yahushua, the order from Yad, Aman, and shopping may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Peace, love, mercy, grace be out unto the true children of Israel, Jacob's sons and daughters, the ones who inherit the promise, the ones that inherit the adoption, the ones that will inherit the land, and all the good things that the Most High has for us, man. To be born in as an Israelite is a blessing, because some of us, when we was younger, we probably once or twice said, man, I wish I was born white. And what you really meant was, you wish you were born privileged. You wish you were born blessed. You wish you were born not having to be in an oppressed state, right? And the people that you see living like that, right, were white people. So that's how you form that sentence. But now everybody wishes that they was an Israelite, because now they see that when we get this kingdom, when we get rulership, right? The time we look forward to good things is gonna last forever and ever, right? It's never gonna end. And our king is gonna be just, right? We're never gonna complain about Hamashiach Yahushua and his unjust rulership, right? It's a blessing, it's something to look forward to. So we're gonna recap a little bit about the portion that we did last week. We're not gonna do a pre-Shabbat class because we do kind of have a lengthy portion this week again. So let me get Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
Book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17.
Read.
And whatsoever you do in word or deed,
Uh-huh.
do all in the name of the Adonai Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High, and the Father by him.
All right, so I'm gonna ask just a couple of questions, all right, and see if brothers and sisters can recall. So let's say there was an instance in which, all right, and we're using the time period in ancient Israel. So let's say, for instance, there was a family member who came and tried to seduce you into serving another god. What should you do about that situation? How should you handle that situation? Captain Assad, how should you answer that situation?
He said captain first, so you can give a captain response.
So should you consent with the person? You should basically let it be known, right, that this person tried to entice you into serving another god. Captain Shan?
Something missing.
Yeah, that's what I see if Captain Shan is gonna say it. Go ahead.
I'll use the scripture to answer that. Proverbs 1 and 10.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10.
Con.
My son,
Uh-huh.
if sinners entice thee,
Right.
consent thou not.
Con. So yes, you are not supposed to consent. You're not supposed to consent with them. So what you were gonna is that all you had to add?
Yeah.
Okay, what you had to say?
For me,
Yeah, come.
so I was gonna say,
Who got to stone him first?
Right. I was also gonna ask, and I'm gonna jump over your question.
The people who the person first wants to try to entice them to serve with that.
Okay, now, you know, something I always do is application of the scripture, right? Evidently, you can't do something like that now, right?
Right.
So how do we apply this law today? This is why we go over the Torah portion, so we can learn how to keep the laws in our daily travels and our daily lives. We don't have the stones to stone nobody right now. So how do we apply this law in our lives today? Well, you gotta get somebody new.
I don't know what scripture it is, but
'Cause I remember you when I was doing shop at headquarters, I had the talent of just picking somebody.
Right.
I'm about to retrain and do that and start doing that again.
I can't recall what scripture it is, but the verse said, "Leave him so that his soul, give him up to Satan so that his soul can be saved."
That's
I like that.
I
I like that.
yeah.
It is. Well, you're very vague with it. You're very vague with it. So how do we apply the scripture? Sisters in the back. We're gonna be in the wilderness for 50 years. Right. So how do we apply? Let's get Deuteronomy 13. That's the scripture. And then we're gonna exit again.
Deuteronomy 13, verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou, nor thy fathers, namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth, even to the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him. Neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people.
So how do we apply this today? Hold on. And after that, brother or another sister can answer.
How we apply it today? Well, today there won't be people coming up to us and like saying, "Oh, come," like outright. But I would say,
No, not here. In like places in Haiti, they do that.
Oh,
In Africa, they do that. Our people in Africa do that. It's just we don't do that like that here in Florida.
yeah, I would say
Right.
how.
Go ahead, Salaki.
I mean, for me, like if I see that, or it's, I would say not to be influenced because somebody doesn't have to say, "Oh, come and serve these idols," or "Come and do this and this and that." But by you being influenced and
Influenced in what?
By you seeing it and wanting it, you're basically lusting after that lifestyle, lusting after what you see. You know,
You saying it, but you got influencing to do what? Chasing after what?
sin.
Okay.
Yeah. Because sin doesn't always have to look. Sin doesn't, like 90% of the time, sin doesn't look terrible. You know, so you'll be lusting after things that you see other people doing when it doesn't align with the scriptures. So I mean,
You guys want to add on to that?
So imagine if there was a brother and sister that was in this room right now that didn't know nothing about sin and, you know, about this truth too much. They knew this truth. What would be some examples, you know, you could give to apply this law? Some examples. What are some things people would say to you to entice you from the Most High? What are some things that entice you from the Most High? That's a perfect example. Celebrating, coming to the Christmas feast. What else? New Year balls. Come on, bro. You can hit the Shrek with me, bro.
Right.
You can go rob the store with me, bro. What's some other examples? Because we gotta be able to apply these laws to these times. And imagine if you're teaching a child, you gotta be able to break it down to a simplest form they could understand. You're not going to say somebody tell you come serve Satan.
Right.
You're not going to understand that too much. You got to bring it down to a small level. Go ahead.
I would say like eating unlawful foods like shrimp.
Okay. Table on the left.
I say nothing's gonna happen to you. Just one time.
All right. Catch Zion. So now that we know that the sin is like things like Christmas, Thanksgiving, stealing, sin basically, right? Now we know what it is. You go replace the word God for sin, transgression. What comes next? Read that again for me. What comes next after that? So how do we apply that into today's time?
But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death.
So can you kill somebody? No, you end up in jail right now. So what do you do instead of putting them to death?
Bring the report.
Okay, you bring the report and then what?
You be the first one
To what?
to identify what does you be the first one to bring it
Titus
up.
1:13 again. Okay, you bring it up. What's the purpose of you bringing it up? Bringing the report?
So that we can
Expose it and do what? What's the purpose of you rebuking somebody?
correction.
It's for correction. When you stoned somebody for doing this act in Deuteronomy 13, what was the purpose of it? For correction. To kill that spirit. So if something like that comes into the minds of the people, we understand this is unacceptable to the Most High God. So the way you would apply this now, if somebody commits sin or entice you to break the commandments of the Lord, what you do is you correct that person. You got to be the first one to correct that person. Because amongst our people, what do? We turn a blind eye. Right? No snitches get stitches. But in Torah, that's not the case. You have to be the first one to do it. That's why the Most High said, even if this person is like your own life, you love them so much, you love them more than your own life, you have to be the first one to stone this person. You got to be the first one to check that person. Read that scripture from Titus 1:13.
The book of Titus 1:13. This witness is true. Wherefore, rebuke them sharply.
What you got to do?
Rebuke them sharply.
You got to rebuke them sharply. You got to kill that spirit. Read.
That they may be sound in the faith.
That they may what? Get right. The purpose of the stoning was to get them right. Well, they're going to go in the next 3 or 4 generations, they'll get it right when they come back again. But the whole purpose of this is to correct that person. That's how you apply the scripture now.
That's right.
You got to be the first one to check somebody when they entice you to do evil. You don't turn the blind eye. You don't just, that's my bestie. No, you can't do that. You got to be the first one to check them. So, you got another question for the room? I got one. Let's get Deuteronomy 12 and 15.
Come. Deuteronomy 12:15. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates. Whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Most High, thy power, which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof.
So, before we get to, the people that was here last week, did anybody watch the live stream? Or can anybody give me a guess on what this means from the top of their memory? Somebody who did not answer last week. Lacum, you weren't here, so you should have been on the live stream. I believe Abadan, you was here yet last week, right? You weren't here? So I'll let you two go first. One of y'all two go first. What is the scripture referring to? What is it saying to us? Because I think we spent like 30 minutes explaining this, going through this, right? Deuteronomy 12:15.
Deuteronomy 12:15. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates. Whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Most High, thy power, which he hath given thee, the unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and of the hart.
So what is that talking about?
Oh yeah, pretty much. He's saying like I'm talking about first.
Let's expound a little bit. What does it mean? Somebody else want to give it a shot?
I'm not sure because it says clean and unclean, so that's confusing.
Okay.
Oh, walk righteousness.
No. We're all supposed to walk righteousness. Okay. So what did we learn last week? And what we learned when we were over strangers? You can't do what? I've been saying this a lot. It's a lot. You can't what? Trying to do what? Learn something new. So somebody else. Can somebody give me an interpretation of the scripture? Deuteronomy 12:15. I think Sham, Tatua, the left table. Go ahead. Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 22. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person.
The clean who?
Person.
What?
Person
read.
shall eat alike.
So the only thing Most High is saying that if whether you unclean or you clean, you can eat the food in the land. That's the only thing. It's not talking about clean and unclean foods. You can eat.
21.
Read 21. Go ahead.
And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Most High thy power. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates.
Who is he speaking to? He's speaking to the people. Read.
The clean, the unclean, and the clean person.
The clean what?
Clean person shall eat it alike.
So now we know it's the people. But what we went over last week is you can't forget what you know. We already know the Most High already gave us the dietary law. Evidently, he can't retract his word and tell us you cannot eat unclean food. No, you aren't. You're going on. No, you aren't. We already know Yahweh is going to come kill people that do what? Eat the pork and the mouse.
Yeah.
So we know that cannot be what it's saying to us. So we can't forget what we already know. You have another one before we go right into the portion?
I think those were the two main points that we touched on. So let's go ahead and go to the portion. So the portion is going to be Deuteronomy 16 and 18 to Deuteronomy 21 and verse 9. So Deuteronomy 16 and 18 to Deuteronomy 21 and verse 9. Go ahead, Kevin.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, verse 18. Read. Judges and officers shall thou make thee in all thy gates, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Right. Thou shalt not rest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift for a gift. For a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous.
Right. So we have to have an understanding, right, that in our culture, we don't take any type of bribes, right? We don't say, well, you know, I grew up with you, I understand. I'm going to just let you slide this one time because of who your father is or, you know, who your mother is or those things like that. Because when somebody gets word that they let you slide, then what? They're going to bring that up next time when they get in trouble. Well, you let this person slide. Why you can't let me slide? And then it just causes a domino effect. Because the Most High is never changing. The Most High is who he is. So when you try to wrest the Most High's judgment, when you try to change it, when you try to say, well, you know what, let me think about this, right? And you try to add your own little 2 cents in there, everything starts to get messed up. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Because you know that when a man commits adultery, right, and they be found, both the man and the woman should be put to death. Right now, you can't say, well, Mr. Johnson, man, he sell them good burgers, man. He been running his restaurant for the past 25 years. I don't want to put him to death, right? That's my lunch spot, right? But the woman, I ain't like her anyway. I tried to talk to her a few years ago, and she denied me, right? So now you want to go ahead and put the woman to death, but you want to keep the man. You can't do that, right? You can't do that. Because then you rest the judgment that the Most High gave to the adulterous man and woman. Read.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Read. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Say it again.
A gift destroyeth the heart.
Right? A gift destroyeth the heart. So if you're supposed to be a judge, right? If you're supposed to be an official over the people, If you're supposed to enforce the law, and then you take a bribe, essentially now what? You're causing iniquity to carry on in the congregation. You're causing iniquity to carry on with the people. And once you start to get lax on something, it's really hard to try to enforce it again, right? If you start letting things slide every so often, when you start to get back serious, people gonna start to take you as a joke, right? Or the word might get around, man, listen, bro, they ain't gonna, I know some brothers, right? When they do certain crimes, they be like, bro, the max you could get is only 2 years, right? So they like, well, I'll do it, because the worst case scenario, I can only get 2 years. Now, when we look at the laws of the Most High tells us exactly what to do in every situation, right? But to not allow it to be something that's just acceptable, just because you get a minimum sentence for it, right? So in understanding this, in our own lives, when we're dealing with our own little congregations or even with our families, right? We can't take bribe, right? If your wife do something wrong and you're supposed to rebuke her, right? Don't let the gift that she's trying to give you turn your blind eye. Same thing with your children. Your children do something wrong, you discipline them. You educate them on what they did wrong, right? Don't let them give you the little googly eyes and they get away with it, man. Because we see how Esau kids turn out, right? Devils. And now our children are trying to start to take the same type of mannerism, man. Because they know what? There's no judgment to come along with my actions. This causes a negative effect within the nation. You got to read that? Come, read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 37. Everybody say come when you're there. Matthew 10 and 37. Come.
You trying to stay off the radar for
That's what I tell you.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Right.
He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
So we see here, it doesn't, listen, and those are your closest, y'all wish I know what you talk about. Those are the closest things to you, right? That's what people consider their world, right? My wife is my world, my kids are my world. And he said, listen, if you love them more than me, if there's anything that they can tell you to make you rest against judgment, to make you turn a blind eye to these things, you're not worthy of me, man. Because Yahweh was an austere man, right? He had no respect for persons, man. Yahweh let you have it, he didn't care who he was. He told you straight up, right? The Pharisees in those days were respected men. And Yahweh went toe-to-toe with them whenever they wanted to smoke, man. Yahweh let them have it. He didn't care if they hurt their feelings or not. And that's what the Most High is instilling in us, man. You got to get comfortable with speaking the truth. We know that the truth hurts, but you got to get comfortable with speaking of it, man. Because anything that comes from it, right, it's only good that can come from the truth, man. It's only good that can come from the truth. So you might rebuke somebody, and they might leave you alone and never want to deal with you. Hey, good for you. Good for you. Because that person's mindset was only going to bring you down. Once you told them the truth, they didn't want nothing to do with you. And that's why a lot of people run from this truth, man. Like we were saying last night at camp, the churches, they tailor their message. Why? Because they want more people to come, right? They see people as those dollar bill signs. But we tell the truth. And when somebody run out the Shabbat and say, I ain't never coming back here no more, guess what? Next week, we do Shabbat again. We stay in Torah again. Because the people need the truth. The people don't need lies. If you want to get lies, just go to the church. It's on every corner in every hood.
Yeah.
Right? But when men of the Most High stood up to establish a congregation, a place of worship where you can come and get the truth, that's what it's always going to be. Go back to the portion.
Verse 20. That which is, Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 20. That which is altogether just shall thou follow, and that thou mayest live, right, and inherit the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any tree near the altar of Yahweh thy power, right, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set up any image which Yahweh thy power hateth.
Right? So the Most High said, listen, don't try to be slick and around the back of the temple, right? You got an altar to Ishtar, right? Like they say, go around the back. right? You got the Levites at the door of the temple, and hey, go around back, man, right? We gotta grow. We got a totem set up, man, to Ishtar, to Sicha in the back, man, right? We can't do those things, man. You can't be trying to sneak around the Most High. He sees you. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter. He sees you, man. You can't fool the Most High. You can probably fool man, but you can't fool the Most High. So the Most High say, don't try to have those little altars round about, man. Don't try to sometimes drink from the cup of devils, man, right? And then on the other 6 days of the week, right, you want to try to be with me. Or the other 5 days of the week, you want to try to be with me. Be with the Most High all together.
Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 3.
God.
So it's an excellent point that, you know, we always have to remember the eyes of the Most High is brighter than 10,000 suns. Because all around us, what's all around us? There's spirits all around us. There's angels always amongst us 24/7, like surveillance cameras for the Most High God. The Most High doesn't look down, he sees every little thing that you do. We got to be practical. The Most High have the angels and these spirits around us 24/7 that know your thoughts, that know your intent, that know what you did in 1944 in your previous lifetime. They know, and they keep record and scribe of that and send it back to the Most High. So we're going to look at an account in the scriptures in the book of Ezekiel. Get Ezekiel 8 and 3.
The book of Ezekiel 8, verse 3. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head.
So this is Ezekiel that's being taken by the Most High God. Everybody take the con when you're there. So make sure we're going at the right page. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 3. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 8, verse 3. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head. And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem.
So the Most High is about to reveal something to Ezekiel through the Spirit. He about to show Ezekiel what's going on in the land of Israel. Read.
To the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north.
So at the inner gate, the front entrance of the temple, read,
where was the seat of the image of jealousy.
The image of what?
Of jealousy.
Read.
Which provoketh to jealousy.
So there's an image that's being set up at the north gate of the temple of the Most High God. Ezekiel had to be brought out the Spirit to see what's going on. This shows you the Most High seen when they set this image up.
Right.
And he was well aware of where it was at. Read.
And behold, the glory of Yahweh of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. And he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do?
Moses had to Ezekiel, you see what the hell they're doing down there? Read.
Even the great abominations that the house of Israel committed here, that I should go far from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations.
So he's about to show Ezekiel greater things that's going on in the midst of the people. Now he's going to show Ezekiel something that's concealed, that you have to have the Most High be revealed to you, what they're doing on the low. Read.
And he brought me to the door of the court.
Of the where?
Of the court.
Where's the court? It's the courtyard of the temple of the Most High God. If anywhere is righteous, it would have to be there. Everybody has to be on the P's and Q's 24/7 there, read.
And when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall.
There's a what?
A hole in the
There's
wall.
a little crack in the wall. Read.
Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall.
So he told him, in your spirit, look and see what's going on in that hole. That little secret entrance in the temple, read.
And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door.
A what?
A door.
A who?
A door.
A door, a secret door. Read.
And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here.
We're about to find out, read.
So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things.
Every what?
Of creeping things.
In the temple of the Most High, can you have creeping things and unclean things inside the temple of the Most High? Hell no, you cannot do that. There's only specific times you could go to certain parts inside the temple. Read.
An abominable beast.
An abominable what?
Abominable beast.
Read.
And all the idols.
And all the what?
And all the idols.
Read.
of the house of Israel,
Uh-huh.
portrayed upon the wall round about.
So in the temple of the Most High, what's the only images that we had inside the temple of the Most High? The cherubims and the pomegranate engravings. That's it. We didn't have idols in there. We didn't have different images in there.
Right.
Most High was very specific with the instruction. Read.
And there stood before them 70 men.
70 what?
70 men.
70 men. What tribe do you think they came from? 70 men. It's the same tribe that's only allowed inside the temple, in the tabernacle. These wicked Levites right here. Right, read?
And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel.
Uh-huh.
And in the midst of them stood Jezaniah, the son of Safan, with every man his censer in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And a thick cloud of incense went up.
Uh-huh.
They said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark?
Drop down to verse 14. Then we're gonna get another piece and go right back to it.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
When he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahweh's house,
Mm-hmm.
which
Now,
was
this is outside of the temple now. He's bringing them outside of the spirit. See what's going on. We see what's going on in the temple. It's wickedness. They have a cult in there, everything. Now we're going to see what's going on outside of the temple, where the people, regular people is at. Read.
Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Most High's house, which was towards the north. And behold, there sat woman weeping for Tammuz.
Weeping for who?
Tammuz.
Tammuz is another false god, false thing that we should not worship. Read.
Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man?
Mm-hmm.
Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
Read.
And he brought me into the inner court of the Adawan's house.
Now we're right back into the inner court. Read.
And behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh,
The backs is faced towards the temple. Read.
and their faces towards the east.
They're facing the east. When you face the east, what do you do when you're facing the east? You're praying. So these men, they look like they're praying, right? Read.
And they worship the sun.
They're worshiping the what?
They worship the
This is
sun.
what they were doing on the low. But Ezekiel had to be brought in the spirit to see what the wickedness our people was doing. Like the brother is bringing out, the Most High is well aware, he sees all things. That's why Ezekiel was able to see it, because the Most High sees it. So give me Sirach 23:19, and you got the floor.
Those are powerful scripts. Also, it really shows you the Most High basically got Ezekiel like, you see. That's crazy.
That means Ezekiel wasn't seeing it. He's a major prophet.
That's
He wasn't
crazy.
seeing it. He had to be brought out of the spirit to see it.
Who says? Sorry, you said 25 what?
23:19.
Okay, come.
Everybody say, come when you ask Sirach 23:19.
Write down that precept Cap just brought out too. That's some good information.
You might be asking it next week.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of
That
men.
means he sees all your ways. The Most High knows your mind, what goes in your thought pattern.
Right.
The Most High knows what you're thinking. Yahweh knew what the Pharisees were thinking.
Right.
And that's why he told them, why you think evil in your heart? He knew what they were thinking. The Most High hears what you're saying. He sees your actions. So there's nothing that can be hid from the Most High. Just like the sun. Can you hide from anywhere from the sun? You can't hide from the sun. It's everywhere. It shines upon all things. The Most High sees everything we do. There's nothing you can hide. This is why our people, we cannot jeopardize the laws of the Most High for bribery. Because the Most High sees it.
Right.
You'll see it. You take the little stimmy, just to turn the other way, you committed adultery in the congregation.
Right.
But you're going to take the little stimmy from him, the PPP loan from him, and give him a pass. The Most High is going to see it. And the Most High put that spirit in somebody to see it too.
Right. That's a good point. The Most High made you a witness to that thing, man. So you don't want to, and it's gonna, the portion is gonna get more into why it's so imperative, right? That the officials, the judges, the Levites, the priests, why they're never compromised. Because that's what we complain about America, right? America's compromised, man. You go to court, you know for sure, 9 times out of 10, right? Somebody try to break in your house, you shoot at them, you still end up in jail. How that happen? How that work? Right? How does that work? More than likely, hey, probably that person who was over there on the prosecution side, right? Hey, they probably know the judge, man, right?
throw the judge 25 bands. Next thing you know, the judge come up with some crazy loophole and send you to jail, right? And the person who broke into your house, let them go free, man. All right? We see that all throughout America. Let's get back up in the portion. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 1. Read. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto Yahweh any bullock or sheep where it is blemish. Right. Any evil favoriness, for that is an abomination unto Yahweh. Because that's like spitting in the Most High's face, man. When you looking through your sheep, right? You looking through your oxen, and you find one with an ingrown toenail and say, yeah, I'm gonna give this to the Most High, right? I'm gonna send this out to them because in your mind, right, your best is worth something. All right, give me Malachi 1 there. Well, after your precept. Your best is worth something. We shouldn't give the Most High worthless things, right? When you know, most of us probably had this. When your siblings, right, give you hand-me-downs, it's stuff that they don't want, right? They look at the shirt and say, I guess I'll give this to my little brother, right? But you're not giving him the new pair of Jordans that you just bought, right? You're not giving him the new stuff that you just got. You're going to give him something that, it's whatever. That's a slap in the face to the Most High. Because who gave it to you in the first place? The Most High. The Most High blessed your flock. The Most High blessed your land, right? To have rich soil so that it could produce good fruit. And after you get that harvest, you decide to give him the worst, right? The strawberry that got a little bit of mold on it. All right, that's what you want to package up. Yeah.
Oh, Sirach 34, 18, 19.
Sirach 34. You get precept first, then I'll get mine, then we're going to get yours. Hold that. I'm going to come back to you. The book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 3. Everybody say, come on, you at Genesis 4 and 3. The book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 3. Read. And in the process of time, it came to pass, Cain brought the fruit of the ground, an offering unto Yahweh. Right. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings. Of the what? Of the firstlings. What did he bring? Of the firstlings. Of the firstlings, the best. The best, right? Read. Of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Because he know that Abel gave him his best. You gotta respect it. He gave me his best, man. Right? He gave me his best. That's why what we do, we put in the toil, we put in the work, we receive a paycheck. Out of that paycheck, the first thing you should do, put that money aside for the Most High. Right? As camp members, what do? We pay our camp dues. Right? Before we started these camp dues, we paid our tithes. If we even have more than that, we throw some more extra onto that. Right? But put something aside for the Most High. Because all of it is going into what? Teaching the children of Israel who they are. Right? This is what we're trying to put out in the earth. The true identity. What's that? Sirach 34? Oh, no, what are you saying? Okay, Connie. Let me get Malachi 1 and 8. The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 8. Now, before we read this, let's just put it. Let's say you at the crib, whatever, you chilling with your homeboys, whatever, right? Chilling with family. It's 10 people over there. You pull out $100 bill, right? And you say, go and get 10 burgers, right, from $5. Right? You gave the money now. Hey, go get us some burgers to eat for $5. On the way back, one of the burgers got squished in the bag. Now, when they hand out the burgers, right, they give you the squished burger, right? How would you feel? you wouldn't want it, right? I gave the 100 to go get the burgers, and out of all the 10 burgers, y'all give me the worst looking burger. You wouldn't take that, right? You'll probably look at the burger, look at them and say, I know y'all boys must be playing with me, right? Y'all boys trying me like that, right?
It's like you throw them on your way, like.
No, it's just disrespectful. Yeah. It's like somebody should have been humble enough to say, you know what, give me the squish channel, because, you know, bruh gave us the money to go get it. Now read Malachi 1 and 8.
You pay $15 for the goat
For the goat plate.
Let's go goat.
You got the one with the most rice. Read. The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 8. Read. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil?
Right?
And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil?
Read.
Offer it now unto thy governor.
He say what?
Offer it now unto thy governor.
He said, go and bring this to your chief person, right? Go and bring this to the person who's helping out the community, right? The heads of the people. Go bring it to them, read.
Will he be pleased with thee?
What it said?
Will he be pleased with thee?
He gonna say, Jill, why you trying me, man? Right? Why you playing with me like that, man? Why you disrespect? Why you came and brought this to me? This is like something I would want. Read.
Or accept thy person.
Read.
Saith Yahweh of hosts.
Read.
And now I pray you, beseech Yahweh that he will be gracious unto us.
Right.
This hath been by your means, will he regard your persons,
right?
Saith Yahweh.
So the Most High is letting you know, not even your head people will take something, man. Right? A goat that got a broken foot, right? A sheep with a missing arm, right? Or half sheared. You done sheared half of the sheep before you done gave it to him. Even your heads of your people won't accept that, but you want me to accept it? I'm the one who gave you the might to get wealth. I'm the one that blessed your land to be prosperous and fruitful. And you give me the grapes that didn't fully form? Right? That's what you give me? Right? You gave me the green mangoes, the early ones? Right? You gave me the ones that I'm turning around and I see the squirrel took a bite out of it? What you trying to do? Right? You giving me the worst? That's disrespectful to the Most High, Uncle. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 8 to 9. Because the Most High saying, listen, man, not even some of the celebrities, you'll see them, they'll be like that, right? When they was younger, they used to rock, American Eagle, Hollister, right? All those little brands. But once they got up there, right? If you was to give somebody that, they'll look at you like, what? All right? I believe it was, I forget the celebrity name, but it was this one girl, and her dude bought her like a Lexus or something like that. And she looked at it like, a Lexus? Right? Like, where the Lambo at? Right? You give me a Lexus? All of these things? So we got to think about this is the Most High, man. And we choose not to give him our best. We got to put our best foot forward, even when you out there preaching, man. Even when you out there, you studying for the Shabbat or the pre-Shabbat class or whatever it is that you're doing. We about to throw a concert for the Most High. We got an event going for the Most High. You got to put forth your best, man. You can't just put it off to the last minute and say, I'll deal with it later. Everything that concerns the Most High Yahweh, you have to put your best foot forward. It is not an option, man. That's how you bring your best sacrifices. You got something else? Read.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 23.
Read.
And whatsoever you do, do it heartily.
Do it what?
Heartily.
Right, read.
As to Yahweh and not unto men.
As what?
Unto Yahweh, not unto men.
Because you got to think about this, man. We doing it for the Most High. You always got to question yourself. How can I do it better? How can I be better? Right? Am I really putting my best foot forward? And we know that we got to sacrifice something. So you might have to sacrifice that sleep. You might have to sacrifice that time. You might have to sacrifice that money. Find out what is it that you can sacrifice to put your best foot forward, man. Because understand, when you speak the words of the Most High, you under a microscope. They're not going to find no flaw in the Most High. It's not going to be no flaw in Yahweh Shai. The first person that they can find flaw in is the men who is going out to the highways and byways and speaking this truth, man. That's why any type of content that we put out, anytime we open up these scriptures, we got to be in the right mindset. And we got to make sure we're learned in whatever it is that we're speaking about. If you're not learned in it, find a brother who is, man. Because once this message goes out, it's then going to be under scrutiny. And that's what we don't want. We want it to be the truth and nothing but the truth. Let's go back to the portion.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 2.
Read.
If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, even the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently.
Say what?
And inquired diligently.
You remember that. Inquire diligently. Read.
And behold, it be true.
It be what?
It be true.
So after your diligent inquiry of the matter, right? Your investigation of the matter, you found it to be true. And for something to be true, it has to have undeniable facts. Read.
And inquire diligently, and behold, it be true,
Right.
and a thing certain,
Uh-huh.
that such abomination is wrought in Israel.
Read.
Then shall thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gate.
Right.
Even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stone till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses.
It say at the mouth of 2 witnesses, 3 witnesses, so it could be yourself and another person, or yourself and 2 other people. Read.
Shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he should not be put to death.
Say it again.
At the mouth of 1 witness shall he not be put to death.
Now, so let's say, right, there's 2 people, they come and they make a statement. Is that it? 2 people say, well, I seen Captain Asaph steal from the store last week. Is that it? Do we just take that and we run with it? What do we do? What let's just use our investigative minds. What should we do, right? The statement was Captain Asaph stole from the store. What should we ask them? What type of questions should we inquire? Where's the proof? But something a little bit more specific. What specific questions should we ask them? What he stole? What time was this? What store? Right? What was he wearing? Then we can go to the store, right? And say, hey, did someone steal out of your store? You know, at this time, such and such. Well, no, I didn't see anybody. Hey, mind if we check your cameras? We checked the cameras. We never seen Captain Asaph going to the store. So just because 2 people come and say something, you have to inquire diligently to find out if it be true. Now, I just read the history of Susanna for the first time the other night, right? And that's a perfect example of not just taking somebody's words, regardless of who they is, men of renown, celebrities, men of high status, at their word. But the Most High put the spirit upon Daniel to what? To check out both of their stories. Separate them and let me talk to you, and let's see if it comes about. But the people took the elders at their word, right? And that's why the elders should not rest judgment, right? That's why they shouldn't take no bribe. That's why they shouldn't have no evil intent. Because the people, if we can't trust you, then who can we trust, right? And that's why it's for us, men who claim to be keepers of his commandments, to have the utmost integrity. Because if we start to do stuff, we already know the narrative is going to be those Israelites does X, Y, and Z. Those Israelites talk about this. They do this. They carry themselves this way. We represent the Most High God, right? And if we give the Israelites a bad name, then guess what? We only add to that's when Esau probably might start agreeing. Yeah, they are the Israelites, right? They are the Israelites because the Israelites do this. I've been telling you about these niggas. I've been telling you about this, right? We fall right into Satan's hand, man, when we do that. So just because there's 2 or 3 witnesses, be diligent in finding out what it is that's going on, man. Right? Just don't take them at their mouth. Well, you know, I'm cool with these 2 brothers. Those brothers, they don't look like they would lie. How do you know that? All right? How do you know that? You have something, Cap?
God, I do, but it's in a
Come on, I can read it. Oh, okay. It's in the portion.
No, we're gonna get there.
Okay,
First,
come.
I read this part of the portion in this case.
Okay, come. Over 7.
The hands of the witnesses shall be first be put upon him, to put him to death. Afterwards, the hands of all the people, so shalt thou put evil away among you.
Right? And as the witnesses, you gotta have a clear conscience about what you said, because guess what? What you said, right, could be causing this person to be put to death. And then that's gonna be blood on your hands. Because although you might have been able to fool the elders or the chief men, the Most High know what really went down, man. And you're going to get yours. Then next week, we find out, right, that you in some trouble, right? That you done got locked up, that you done got shot down in the street. Because you brought a false report. And that's why the Most High say, don't bear false witness, man. Don't bear false witness. You might have seen Captain Asaph go in the store, but you saying that he stole out of it. That's false witness. You witness him going to the store, but the report that you're bringing forth is false as to what occurred. Read.
We're gonna read a little bit more about this law about being the witnesses. Get Deuteronomy 19:15 first.
Come. Book of Deuteronomy 19, verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for an iniquity
Uh-huh.
or for any sin,
Uh-huh.
in any sin that he sinneth.
Uh-huh.
At the mouth of two
In
witnesses,
the mouth of two witnesses, read,
or at the mouth of three witnesses,
or three, read,
shall the matter be established.
read,
If a false witness
right, read.
rise up against any man to testify,
Because in the previous chapter, in 17, it doesn't explain about the false witnesses. Because somebody could say, I seen him come and he was worshiping the sun.
right,
And the whole time he's at home from work.
right.
You know, you didn't see him. Does that mean those false witnesses just get a slap on the wrist and they, it's okay, boys will be boys? It's not like that in Israel. Read.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong,
Which is wrong. This is why the law tells you diligently go through the search. You go ask questions. You go do the investigation and make sure if it's true or not. That's why the Most High stressed this, right?
then both the men between whom the controversy is
Uh-huh.
shall stand before Yahweh,
Uh-huh.
before the priests
Uh-huh.
and the judges,
Uh-huh.
which shall be in those days.
Uh-huh.
And the judges shall make diligent inquisition.
Now the judges, now they go do an investigation on you.
Right.
Where were you at? Why you came up with this lie?
Right.
How the hell you messed up this investigation?
Right.
Now you on trial, read.
And behold, if the witness be a false witness,
It's just a false report, read.
and have testified falsely
Uh-huh.
against his brother,
Read.
then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother.
So whatever you thought you wanted to do to your brother, that whether it's that death penalty, him being exiled or her being exiled, now that gotta happen to you.
That's right.
Now this law, we can still apply it to this day. Now imagine we're in a situation, right? I say Captain Ahud committed adultery with somebody's woman. He gotta get kicked out, he gotta be demoted, he gotta be slandered, it gotta happen in front of the whole congregation. And the elders do an investigation, they find out I'm just player hating on him, and he didn't do that for real. What gotta happen to me according to the law? Huh? What gotta happen to me according to the law? You gotta be specific. I feel like that's a safe answer. If I say that he was supposed to be kicked out, embarrassed in front of the congregation, and demoted, that wasn't true that he did that. What should happen to me because of my false report? That should happen to me. Am I supposed to just let it get a slap on the wrist? It's okay. I have to take the punishment that was supposed to be inflicted on him. So it's very, very important that we follow these statutes and the judgments of the Most High.
That's right.
Because in Leviticus 26 and 15, the Most High always rebukes us because we always abhor his judgment. We rest judgment. Because the whole purpose of judgment is to what? Correct us as a people. So if anybody have the idea of bringing a false report, now they have a reason why not to do it. Let's get Leviticus 26:15. We'll come right back to the portion.
Leviticus 26:15.
Read.
And if ye shall despise my statutes,
You should what?
if ye shall despise my statutes,
Read.
or if your soul abhor my
That
judgments,
means you despise the judgments of the Most High. Read.
so that ye will not do all my commandments,
Read.
but that ye break my covenant,
Uh-huh.
I also will do this unto you.
So he read.
I will even appoint over you terror,
Uh-huh.
consumption,
Uh-huh.
and the burning of.
So when we continue reading, it's the curses that he's told us that will fall on us. So one of the things the Most High hate is when we rest judgment. We can't rest judgment. No matter who it is, can't let somebody slide. Because that would be something the Most High hate. And we can't do the things the Most High hate. So
God, that's a great point. Bringing up a false report because now you slandering, right? You making that man's name bad, right? And some people, even if they find out it's not true, they still might have had that same evil heart that you did and be like, yeah, I know they say it ain't true, but bro, they just trying to they just don't want to look bad because that's one of their captains. They just don't want to look bad. I know he did it. All right, now you done started a domino effect, man. Now you got whispers going around the nation. All right, something that you can never take back. That's why there has to be a penalty for bringing false witness against your brother. All right, back in the portion. Verse 8, 17 and 8.
the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 8. Read. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, be matters of controversy within thy gates. Then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that should be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment.
So if there comes a situation, right, where let's say, as the defendant, right, we're going to use court terms. As the defendant, you felt that the law wasn't applied, right, or judgment was rest, or you were treated unfairly. In the court now today, you'll be what? Be able to appeal whatever decision was made, right? You bring it up to a higher court, higher officials. Essentially, that's the concept of this. You bring it up to the higher officials that we can get this right, right? Because it seems to be a controversial thing as to how this matter was settled. Read.
And thou shalt do according to the sentence. Salakia. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which Yahweh shall choose shall show thee.
Right.
And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee. Thou shalt do that. So like thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left.
Read.
And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that would not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before Yahweh thy power, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away evil from Israel.
So now you go unto the priest, right? And they get the answer for you. Because the priest will have that wisdom, right? They shall have the most knowledge, the most wisdom about how God's laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments shall be applied. You go and you seek this wisdom, you hear the sentence, and then you say, nah, I think that's a little too harsh. Nah, I think it should be harsher, right? And today, that would be called being in contempt of court. Read this definition real quick. Read that definition for me.
Contempt of court, often referred to simply as contempt, is the offense of being disobedient to or disrespectful toward a court of law and its officers in form of behavior that opposes or defies the authority, justice, and dignity of the court.
Exactly. You're defying the authority, right? You're telling the Levites, you know what? To hell with your judgment, right? Right? To hell with the wisdom that you have. So the Most High say, listen, that man who wants to disregard what I gave my priests and my judges to say, you know, guess what? We on your head now, right? You got to receive a punishment now because you already went in saying, listen, no matter what those Levites say, no matter what judgment come down, I'm gonna do my own thing, right? I'm gonna handle this case the way I want to handle it, right? I told him that he has to do 50 years in ward. That's what it is, right? But then the matter is only for the person to pay a fine, right? But you want to give the man 50 years in jail, right? You can't do it like that. So the Most High say, guess what? That evil got to be put away from Israel, man, right? You got to be dealt with now. Because now you're trying to take the power into your own hands. That's not the Most High's judgment. That's your judgment. That's your judgment. That's why he even got to this place before, because it was a matter that seemed too hard to be handled. Because it was such a controversy about either the sentence that was given, right, or the inquisition of the matter in totality. So now we got to bring it to the higher officials. We got to bring it up to the priest. So the Most High always made sure that things would always be done justly. Give me 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 3 real quick. 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 3. That's the compassion and the love having the Most High. Because these other governments, when you think about the world government, you think evil right off the bat. We hardly see or think about a government and say, you know what? Those people are good in that establishment. Right? You always, as soon as you have government, you just think wickedness, man. Because that's what they're about. They're not trying to judge the people righteously. They're not trying to deal with the people justly. They're trying to become the power in the earth. That's it. They're trying to become the power in the earth, man. And when you chase after that type of power, more 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find yourself doing wickedness to obtain. Read. 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 3.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 3.
Read.
The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me.
Right, this is David speaking. Read.
He that ruleth over men
Uh-huh.
must be just.
Must be what?
Must be
And
just.
how should they rule?
Ruling in the fear of Yahweh.
And that's what the Most High wants his rulers to be, man. So if you over a congregation, you over some officers, you over some soldiers, you over a class, deal with it justly, man. Don't be an oppressive force. We deal with that on the day, right? Why would I want to come somewhere and get repressed on the day where I could be at home chilling? Or I come to the Shabbat and now I'm oppressed again. I've been oppressed 6 days out of the week. The Shabbat should be liberating for our people, man. It should be a time for you to. Sometimes I be thinking like, do I gotta go to work tomorrow? No, I gotta go to Shabbat tomorrow. Good. My mind automatically gets at ease because I know I don't have to deal with working for my enemy the next day, man. I get to see my brothers, we get to laugh, we get to joke. My spirit get to be refreshed. It's a wonderful thing. And I know that everything that's going to be done around me is just, man. I got just people around me. And my brain can turn off to having to worry about the curses that we're under, man. Right? And the wickedness that our people look to do to one another, man. My brain can rest from that, man. Right? I could be in a restful state. I could be in a peace of mind that I can't get out there in the world. Because we know that this world is wicked. Let's go back to the portion. Verse 14. No, I mean verse 13. So.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 13.
Read.
And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no presumptuously.
Read.
No more presumptuously. When thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations.
Right? Want to be like the other nations. Read.
That are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set a king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee.
Right?
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
So now, at this time, the Most High is just dealing with us, man. Right? The Most High is providing us. He's giving us everything that He wants to give us. Right? And the Most High say, you know what? Y'all are gonna want a king. Right? Y'all are gonna want a king. Now, just using our minds, right, as people. Why do you think the people wanted a king? Why do you think the people wanted a king? The Most High is laying down judgments, right? He's providing, right? He's keeping the people safe. Everything that a king would do. But why did the people want an earthly king? Why did they want an earthly king? But what comes with that? So we got the Most High. The Most High is doing everything that a king would do, providing for us, keeping us safe, right? Giving us laws, governing us, everything. So we're not in need of one. So why would we want one? Huh? Say it again. Lusting. We got the direction. The Most High, we got the direction. All right? What do you want? You say you want to see it on earth? What about you?
Yeah, I guess some of the word.
Give me Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9. Give me Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9. This is what's in the heart of the people, because guess what? We all know, right? Like I bring this example up all the time. If you have a friend who has a parent who let them do whatever they want to do, right? Let them do whatever they want to do. You're going to say out of your mouth, man, I wish I had a parent like yours, right? My parent is too strict. The Most High laying down these laws, our people see them as what? Something they abhor, something they despise. The Most High being too strict, right? And whenever the prophets speak, they speak the Most High's word, right? And they despise the words of the prophets. Why? Because it's the truth. It's something that restricted them from living the life that they want to live. So let's see what the people told unto the prophets. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 9.
Read.
This is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not.
It says, say to the seers, see not. The people don't want the prophets to see what they're dealing with. Read.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
It said, don't prophesy unto us right things. Read.
Speak unto us smooth.
Speak unto us what?
Smooth things.
So they think that the king, right, is going to be somebody who's just going to give them everything they want. King such and such, we want this. King such and such, we want that. The king is just going to tell them smooth things, right? Because they see the other nations, and the other nations are doing what? The other nations are committing abominations, and their king doesn't seem to care, right? Hey, y'all want to have a freak fest over there in the temple? Go ahead, right? Y'all want to go ahead and do it? So they say, oh, yeah, maybe we should get a king, and maybe we'll be able to do those things, right? And then we can just put it all on the king. Well, Yahweh, the king said we could do it. You get what I'm trying to say? They see the other nations have a king, but the other nations are abominable. So they say, you know what? Maybe if we can have somebody ruling over us like that, we can then live like that. What you gonna say, Officer Mathuka?
That's basically the same reason why they wanted Moses to speak to them. Because they want to stay far away from the Most High God.
Yeah, they want to hear that.
Right. But guess what though? Moses wasn't budging. Moses was gonna keep, and that's why they continue to murmur against who? Moses. But then we understand when they murmured against Moses, who were they really murmuring against? They was going to get the Most High. Now here's the, I ain't gonna say the twist, but here's the thing. When you read Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1, and it tells you the type of spirit that Yahushua has, he's just like the Most High. So now this king that we have today, this king that we serve, Mashiach Yahushua, he's just like the Most High, right? He got that same spirit. He gonna lay down them same judgments, them same statutes, them same laws. Because we just got the law of adultery, right? That say don't sleep with a. No. All right, go ahead. All right, come on.
The book of First, get 1 Samuel 8, verse 5.
Book of 1 Samuel. Let me know when y'all got it. Chapter 8 and verse 5.
Everybody say, "Come when you get there." I got it.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 5. And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways.
So this is during the time of Samuel, when Samuel was, he's in the eldership, he's very old. And at that time, Samuel was the man everybody was going to for judgment. After the spirit of the Most High departed from Eli and then went to Samuel. And this is before we have kings, right?
And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king.
What did it say?
Make us a king.
Read.
To judge us like all the nations. Read. But the thing displeased Samuel.
It displeased Samuel because Samuel understood what? That the Most High was our king. Samuel understood that. He understood the Most High is the one who reign over us. Read.
When they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people.
What did the Most High say?
Hearken unto the voice of the people.
Listen to the man. Right. Listen to him. Read.
In all that they say unto thee. But they have not rejected thee.
They have not what?
But they have not rejected thee.
Like he said, they didn't reject Moses. They didn't reject Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Samuel. Read.
But they have rejected me.
Who did they reject?
They have rejected me.
Read.
That I should not reign over them.
That the Most High don't reign over them.
Right.
That he don't give them that just judgment.
Right.
And like he's saying, Yahushua is just like the Most High. How you think Yahushua's rulership going to be? You think it's going to be like the wicked kings that we see upon the face of the earth right now?
Right.
That have no understanding? Give me Psalm 72 and 2. Because this chapter is spiritually talking about Yahushua as well.
Right.
This is how Yahushua's rulership is going to be in Psalm 72. We're not going to read the whole chapter, but in your own time you can read the whole chapter, and you can get a glimpse of the kingdom to come. Go ahead and read.
Book of Psalms, chapter 72 and verse 2. He shall judge thy people with righteousness.
Judge thy people with what?
With righteousness.
We're going to get judged according to the laws of the Most High God. Read.
And thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor.
He's going to do what?
break in pieces the oppressor.
Because during time, even though in this animal it says Solomon, right? But Solomon had no wars during this time. When did he break in pieces any oppressors? Something like during Yahweh's time. He's going to destroy all our oppressors. That's what a righteous king of the Most High do.
Right.
Don't jeopardize the safety of his people.
Right.
Judge righteously the people of the Most High. Read.
They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations.
Read.
He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth.
Read.
In his days shall righteous flourish. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth.
So isn't the kingdom of heaven going to have everlasting peace?
Right.
This is what Yahweh is going to usher into it. This is why I put him as the one and only king over Israel. That's going to reign forever and ever in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
But our people, we like to go after the nations.
Right.
We like the ways of the nations. That's why we decided to choose a king. We felt the Most High was too harsh.
Right.
But when we had wicked kings that was chastising us, now we're crying to the Most High God.
Right.
So,
Great point. And that's all what it is, man. Now people, they want smooth things, man. They think it's gonna go over well with them. Right? They think it's gonna go over well with them. So that they wanted a king. So the Most High said, all right, well, guess what? If it is gonna be a king, it gotta be one of your brethren. Right? We see how it turned out with Ahab. We see how it turned out with Saul.
Manasseh.
Right? Manasseh. We see how it turned out. Because guess what? Now, Israel, you already know, man, you can't when you put Israel in that high seat, they head just it's gonna go to a whole nother level, man. It's gonna go to a whole nother level. Now, let's see what the Most High said, right? That the kings should do to keep themselves in check, right? Let's see what the kings should do to keep themselves in check. Read.
verse 16. But he should not multiply horses himself.
But horses, right, signify military strength. It's not to say that we shouldn't have a military at all, but you shouldn't be up there as a king thinking, yo, how do I build an army so vast that I could just trample anybody any piece of land I see, I could just send a million soldiers over there just to trample the land and take it over.
I could
Right?
about half of my army go against the other half.
Right, exactly. I want them so big that when they march, the ground shake. Right, that's all you're thinking about, right? just thinking about farming, because it don't matter if we did have that. If we was going off, guess what? We would just be destroyed. It'd just be a million men dead, right? A million men just be dead because the Most High will fight with us. Yes, have an army. Yes, stay on the defense, but don't be at the lust of power. That's what that's saying. Read.
Verse 16. But he should not multiply horses himself,
Right.
nor cause the people to return to Egypt,
Right.
to the end that he should multiply horses.
Read.
For as much as Yahweh has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way.
Read.
So this law is telling us that he's not supposed to make the people go back to Egypt, rely back on Egypt.
Gone.
When you go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, that's why the Most High says in that slide, I forgot how I was worded. You know, it says in that way, you promise that you should not see it no more.
Yeah, thou shalt see no more again.
That's talking about it because we will never go back to Egypt. That's how we know that Egypt. I forget it. I'm paraphrasing it, but let's just get it. Deuteronomy 28, 68. When you see that in verse 28, 68, it's not talking about you're not going to see the land of Israel no more. It's talking about you're not going to go back to Egypt no more. So we know this is not the ancient Egypt it's referring to, because this is where the Most High referenced it right here. Deuteronomy 28, 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Because he's referring back to Deuteronomy 17. That he goes, you're going to go to Egypt, but remember, I promise you're never going to go back to that Egypt. It's going to be a different one. So he's saying that the kings are not going to allow people to go back to the Egypt again. They're not going to make the people go back to Egypt again. Let's go.
Verse 17.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
Say it again.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
Now, let's listen to the next part of this sentence, because people start right there. Oh, can't have multiple wives. Let's see why the Most High just said that. Read.
To himself, that his heart turned not away.
Say it again.
That his heart turned not away.
Read.
Neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold.
So now, people look like that and say, well, A multiple of 1 is 2, right? That's how fast they get to that conclusion. But it also said you can't multiply horses. So now, I would ask a simple question. Does that mean that the king can only have 1 horse?
I can't have a car.
Right? Right? Now let's put it today to him. I can only have 1 car, right? But just think about it in that time. The king could only have 1 horse. This is the king. The common Israel man had probably 4 or 5 horses. So you saying that, right? If you go with that logic, or multiple of 1 is 2, the king can't have 2 horses, right? So of course, when we look at Solomon's case, right? That's where everybody jumps to. 700 wives, 300 concubines, and that might have been a little excessive, right? Because ultimately, what happened? In trying to please all of them, his heart got turned away, and he started building altars unto his wife. Right? Read.
The book of First Exodus, chapter 4, verse 25.
Read.
Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than mother or father or mother. Yea, many there we have run that have run out of their wits.
Run out of what?
Their wits.
They run out of their common sense, man. Right? That's why some brothers, they get a relationship, be like, man, I just wasn't thinking, man. She just had her mind wrapped up. Read.
Wits for women and become servants for their sakes.
And become what?
Servants for their
They
sakes.
do whatever they women tell them to do. Read.
Many also have perished and have erred and sinned for women.
Con. So we understand that a woman has a great influence on a man. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 25. A woman has a great influence on a man. So as a man, if you say, you know what, I'm gonna have you more than 1 wife, probably gonna have you 2 or 3. Understand, right? That's 3 times the influence coming your way, right? Especially if, you know, they all good and they say, you know what, I want him to try to bring us to this convention on Saturday. We should all go to him at once, right? They come up with the counsel. We should all go to him at once, man, and try to, right? They take crafty counsel, man, and try to make you do something that you shouldn't do. That's why we have to be able to understand it's not against the law, but these things have to be done with wisdom. So let me get 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 8, right? Let me get 1 Samuel chapter 12 verse 8 because we're going to go through a few scriptures that show that the Most High never gave a law that forbids a man to have more than 1 wife. And when dealing with his servant David, let's see how many wives the Most High gave him. 1 Samuel chapter 12 verse 8. Awesome. 2 Samuel 12 and 8. Salaki. Right, so just from 2 Samuel chapter 12 from 1 to 7, Nathan is giving David the parable, right, of the rich man who had everything and took the thing of the poor man who had nothing, right? And Nathan is basically saying that was you in the situation of when you took Bathsheba from her husband. Read.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 8.
Read.
And I, let me start from verse 7.
Okay, come.
And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man.
Right.
Thus saith Yahweh, God of Israel. I anointed thee king over Israel.
Right.
And I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house.
Read.
And thy master's wives.
And that, say it again.
And thy master's wives.
Spell that word.
W-I-V-E-S.
Right, thy master's wives. Read.
Into thy bosom.
Into what?
Into thy bosom. And gave thee the house of Israel.
Read.
And of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would have moreover have given unto thee such and such things.
Right. So the Most High said, listen, if 2 wives was enough, I would have gave you more. Right. Anything that you felt was insufficient that caused you to go and take this man's wife, right, or anything else, I would have gave you more unto that. In the NLT? Get that in the NLT. All right, so we bring out these precepts because, you know, sometimes our sisters may feel threatened by this. And it's more so because Esau has seduced them into
giving them a false sense of power, so to speak, right? But it's something that they have clinged onto because they feel as if they don't have much of a say-so, right, in this life. But that's because of Esau. But then they turn around and use the seduction, right, that Esau comes with to then try to control their husband so that they can feel like they have some type of meaningful. But now coming back into this truth, we understand that we're supposed to treat our women right. We understand that we're not supposed to make them feel worthless, although we are the head as men, right? We're supposed to love them, right? We're supposed to have favor unto them, right? Give them children. Make their lives a little bit more pleasurable than how it is just being a regular black woman in America. We understand these things. And that's what we try to give our women. Because as men, we have become better through these laws, statutes, and commandments. And the Most High loves to see a man and a woman that agree. And what better more to agree on than the law, statutes, and commandments, the prosperity, the life that the Most High has given unto the children of Israel through his wisdom. You have the precept?
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 12, verse 8, in the New Living Translation. I gave you your master's house,
right,
and his wives, and the kingdoms of Israel, and Judah. And if that had not been enough, right, I would have given you much and much more. Right?
Yeah, that would have given much and much more. So understanding that in our culture, right, it is not unlawful for a man to have one wife, but even when having, right, more than one wife, there is still ways that you have to go about it. Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 15. All right, let me get Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 15. Read. If a man have two wives,
What does it say?
If a man have two wives,
Right, it says if a man have two wives. Now, if this wasn't an unlawful thing, I'm expecting some type of judgment to be read after this, right? This man, he was found to have two wives. I'm expecting some type of judgment to be read. But let's see how the Most High addresses a man that has two wives. Read.
One beloved, and one and another hated,
right?
And they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated.
Right.
And if the first son be hers that was hated, then it should be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, right, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn. For the son of the hated, right, which is indeed the firstborn.
Read.
But he should acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, right? For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
So now, did anybody hear a judgment? Any type of judgment for this man having two wives? Stoned to death, locked up in ward, pay the fifth part, fire, anything? This was more so about the children, right? That if you have one beloved and one hated, you can't treat your firstborn son with the wife that you hate as just just insignificant. But it says nothing about a judgment to the man that has these two wives now. So before they can say it's unlawful, you have to go into the law and show me what judgment comes with a man that has more than one wife. Right? We see a statue there, right? Dealing with if there was a wife that was hated and one beloved. We do see a statue, right? But where's the judgment? We got to keep all of them. The laws, statutes, commandments, and the judgments. Right? We can't forget the judgments is part of that too. And if I don't see any judgment here, what judgment am I supposed to hand down upon a man that has two wives? Unless it's something I just don't, I just come up with. Right? So in understanding that, we understand that the king is essentially what it's saying is don't multiply pleasures unto yourself. Right? Don't multiply these things unto yourself, because then you're going to start to be deceived, right? You're going to start to feel like you can do whatever you want to do. I can have how many ever of this that I want. Nobody can stop me. Who's going to tell me what to do? That's the mindset that comes with wanting to multiply all of these things, right? To an unneeded number, so to speak. Let's go back to the portion.
Get Luke 14:29. Now, I don't want nobody to have it in their spirit. I was saying, tell your woman, STFU, right, I'm going to Arkansas to go get me that light skinned sister, that dark skinned sister. It's not what we're telling you.
But of course, in all things that you do, you know, you got to make sure you be circumspect and make sure you count the cost of what you do. You calculate everything that you do. And it's something the Most High always teaches us in the law, that you think before you do. Now, there's no law that says that you have to have one wife. There's no law that says you have to have 50. Right? Only if it's like, I believe the one brother died and he didn't have no children.
Right.
In the land of Israel. But you got to make sure you be circumspect and calculate everything that you do. Go ahead and get Luke 14:29.
The book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 29. Less happily, after
Start a little up. Verse 28.
verse 28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counted the cost?
So before you do something, what do you always do? And then it's not even with a marriage. When you go to school, what you have to do, count the cost. How long this is going to take? Right, the pros, the cons, what can happen, right? In life, we always got to calculate what we do, because you can always miscalculate something and it has a negative effect or a negative outcome in your life. So this is something that you sit down and you calculate what you're doing, because you can have all the money in the world and you have one wife and everything's settled with her, but you choose the wrong second spouse and she destroys everything you have because you didn't sit down and count the cost and examine what you about to get yourself into and who you about to bring into your life. So this is something that we got to keep in mind. Read.
And who, Salakia, for which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counted the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it,
He's not able to what?
to finish
You're
it,
not able to see everything through to get the results that you desire. Read.
all that behold it begin to mock him.
Then you're going to be a laughing stock. Because if you could be a brother with one rib, you're trying to get another one. You didn't even prove this one, no nothing. She comes in. Now, instead of multiplication, it becomes addition. Now you have no rib.
Right.
Because there's no law, there's nothing that holds our marriages together, really, in this kingdom.
Right.
You really stick together because of faith in the Mashiach and fear of the Most High.
God.
That's really it. In ancient Israel, there's no leaving your spouse.
Right.
You know, so just keep that in mind.
God. All praises. All praises.
Verse 18. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 18.
Uh-huh.
And it should be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom,
Right.
that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites.
Uh-huh.
And it should be with him. And he should read therein all the days of his life,
Right.
that he may learn to fear Yahweh his power,
Uh-huh.
to keep all the words of the law and the statutes, to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel.
So the king had to rewrite the law and had to read it daily so that he could stay humble. He could understand that he is a servant of the Most High God. So that he doesn't treat, right, the children of Israel, who are the Most High servants, right, as his servants that he could do whatever that he wants with. So even to us today, what would keep us humble, right? If it's supposed to keep a king humble, right? What should keep us humble? Being in that word every day. Even if it's just reading the Psalms, reading the Proverbs, right? Just open up that because those words have a spirit. Those words carry the Holy Spirit, man. Right? So you always want to refresh yourself daily, every day, so that you don't forget the Most High and you keep yourself humble. Chapter 18.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18.
Read.
The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel.
Uh-huh.
They shall eat the offerings of Yahweh made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among the brethren. Yahweh is their inheritance, as he has said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the maw, the first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and thy oil, and the first of thy fleece of thy sheep, thou shalt give him. For Yahweh thy power has chosen him out of all thy tribes to minister in the name of Yahweh, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates, out of all Israel where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of mine unto the place which Yahweh should choose, then he shall minister in the name of Yahweh his power, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand before Yahweh. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of patrimony. So that means even if a Levite have his own business, let's say a Levite has a multi-million-dollar business, right, that's booming in Israel. That doesn't mean just because he's doing good, he don't get the benefits from still being a Levite.
Right.
That means he still keep his money and he still gets the benefits.
Right.
That's what the Most High is saying right here. So, let me go back there. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
It's like the wind, the 6 of the whole chapter.
Verse 9. When thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations. There should not be found among you any one that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or that use divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh thy power doeth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with Yahweh thy power. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observer of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, Yahweh thy power have not suffered thee so to do.
Right? So don't look at the other nations and start wanting to do things that they do. Right? Don't go and say, well, I think I want to be changed into a woman. Right? Don't let the dog lick you in your mouth, man. Right? Don't look at these other nations, man, and do what they want to do, man. Right? Because I know we look at that stuff and be like, who in their right mind, right, will do these things, man. Right? If you have that thought, stay away from it, man. Because of course, we used to see Miss Cleo, and you might see the little botanicas and things of this sort, man. But when you look at the other nations, right, and you see them doing their foolishness, that's what the Most High said. Stay away from it. I didn't command you to it. You know it's crazy because your Israelite mind is looking at it like, yo, that's off the walls, right? Just leave it alone, man. And don't go and try to understand it, because they'll justify it to you. Well, you have to understand, right? The stars and the sea and the wind and all this stuff, right? And then now you over there doing it, right? Trying to give us the same breakdown, right? Yeah, exactly. Leave the customs of the nations alone. Read.
Verse 15. So verse 14. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, Yahweh thy power hath not suffered thee so to do. Yahweh thy power raised up unto thee a prophet for the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of Yahweh in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my power, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. Among their brethren. Like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth.
Right.
And he will speak unto them all that I should command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require of him.
You say it again?
I will require of him.
He required him. So,
Captain Zion one, Captain Captain Shamwala, you guys can answer it. And Captain Asaph.
So we just read from verses 15 to 19. Who is this prophet that the scriptures are speaking about?
It can't be a one-word response. You got to expound.
All right. Give me supporting details. All right. Give me supporting details. This is where the precepts come in, right? Because you gotta prove who this person is, right? You gotta prove who this person is.
A lot of people in this room got the breakdown.
All right.
I hope y'all feel the eyes on
it. It says, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. So it has to be an Israelite, right?
So whatever name gets shouted out there, I need proof of nationality.
We're not saying Pontius Pilate or Herod,
Right?
King
I need,
Darius.
whatever name is thrown out there, I need proof of nationality. From the nation of Israel. But I need a precept. Whatever name you say, I need a precept that proves he's an Israelite. I need that proof, right? Just like when you go to the airport, I need proof of identification.
Some people already got the breakdown. I'm just putting it out there. Some people already got the breakdown.
All right. What's the name? And I need proof. I need what else I need? I need proof of identification, right? And if you have it, I also need proof, right, of this person speaking the words of the Most High, right? Them saying verbatim that they speak the words of the Most High. What we got?
You're not sick. You
What we got? All right. What we got?
I see her sniffing like she got a flu. No,
Hey, listen, this, because you gotta understand something, right? And Captain, I'm always bring this out. This is in the law. This is in the law. So this prophet, right? This one that's gonna be raised up amongst the brethren, you have to listen to him. It's a sin if you don't. Officer Matato, what you got for me?
That would be Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16. Let's see what he got.
Let's see if that's a boomerang scripture. Do it out when they come back.
Let's see. Hebrews 2 and 16. What's that for? That's
At the supporting cast of that verse, you will actually that Christ is that person.
Hebrews 2 and 16. All right.
That's
hold on. Okay, go ahead.
That's an Osama bin Laden scripture.
Right.
You blew yourself up.
So hold on.
I don't know.
You said I asked for proof of nationality or whatever name you said. Now hold on. You said, right? Okay, but right, you said of the seed of Abraham. Now I don't know. It could Ishmael, right? I don't know. What's going on? Right? I don't know. That's too vague, huh? I need proof of nationality, man.
Is that the children of Amalek?
Matthew chapter 1. Now, okay, now let's read. You be referring to Matthew chapter 1:21? The beginning of the chapter when it goes to the genealogy? Okay. What you got, Marcus?
Okay, you're getting something.
Yeah, that's
Getting
not
something.
the tribe.
Okay. Excuse me?
Revelation 22:16. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 16. I, Yahushai, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
Okay, come on. All right, I'll take that. All right. So we got the proof of nationality, right? We got the proof of nationality. We know that Yahushai, right, is from the tribe of Judah, right, being the offspring of David. Now, can you prove to me that Yahushai?
Yes,
Oh, yes, sir. John 1:45.
Then I'm gonna get the precept and
Okay, come.
move on to the next thing.
The book of John, chapter 1 and verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and said unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. All right, come on. Give me some like you said, she brought out the genealogy, which I can take that too. But come on, bring out what you had, Cap.
You had, the next question was the words.
Spoke, right? Yeah. Prove to me, right? That Yahushua spoke the words of the Most High. All right, what precept is that?
Let me read this in the meantime.
All right, come on. What precept is that? Because he said that the Most High, he's going to put his word in his mouth, right? But how do I know Yahushua spoke the words of the Most High? All right.
Is there some points somebody want to bring out?
Right.
Show us that.
So I need some proof. I need some proof.
I'm gonna read this verse.
All right, come on. The book of Acts, chapter 3 and verse 22.
Read.
For Moses truly said unto the fathers,
Uh-huh.
a prophet shall Yahweh your power raise up unto you of your brethren,
Uh-huh.
like unto me.
Uh-huh.
Him shall ye hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet
Uh-huh.
shall be destroyed from among the people.
Right.
Yea, all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as spoken, have likewise foretold of these days.
Uh-huh.
Ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, in thy seed shall all kindreds of the earth be blessed. Unto you first, Yahweh having raised up his son,
Uh-huh.
sent him to
Right.
bless you, and turning away every one of you from his iniquities.
So right then, Acts chapter 3, verse 22 to 26, you could prove it right that way. But where we get into, this is how you would precept that. So what you got, sis? John 14 and 10. Let's see what John 14 and 10 says.
14 and 10.
John 14 and 10.
Is this a boomerang scripture? Let's see.
14
Is this an Osama bin Laden scripture? Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on, I gotta get it to it. Let me read it for you guys.
The book of John,
Uh-huh.
chapter 14, verse 10.
Read.
Believest thou not, I am in the Father,
Uh-huh.
and the Father in me?
Right.
The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself,
Read.
but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works.
He what?
He doeth the works.
Read.
Believe me that I am in the Father, and the
Uh-huh.
Father in me, or as believe me for the very work's sake.
Come. So that's a good precept to show that Yahweh Shai spoke the words of the Most High. All right. Now, for the last one, right?
Hold up.
Oh.
The sisters are the ones that's running it right now. What's going on with your brothers, man?
No.
I ain't the one that got it right.
No. This is the last scripture. This is the last scripture. You can get it right.
Do we need to have to give them an officer's t-shirt?
I don't know. Probably he over there flipping through the encyclopedia.
That was Acts chapter verse 22.
3 and 22. All right. Now listen. Last scripture. What details the type of spirit that the Most High said he was going to put amongst his prophet? Right? What precept can we go to get a detailed look at the type of spirit the Most High is talking about he's going to put on his
I
prophet?
think he said it earlier too.
All right? Yeah, I did say it earlier. All right?
In the meantime, we get another.
So we got one, right? We proved the genealogy, we proved the nationality, right, of this people, because we know it has to be an Israelite, right? We got a scripture supporting that Yahweh Shai spoke not of himself, but the word that the Most High put in him. But now, let's get some details about the spirit that he had. Come on. Isaiah 11 and verse 1. Let's just read that.
The book of John, chapter 12, verse 49.
Come on. That's, yeah.
For I have not spoken of myself,
Right.
but the Father which sent me,
Uh-huh.
he gave me a commandment,
Right.
what I should say and what I should speak.
Right. All right. John 12 and 49 to 50 that's the dagger right there. All right. So that was a good good piece of that sister brought out too. But that John 12 and 49 is just no way around it. All right. There's no way around it. And Officer Abaddon brought out Isaiah chapter 11. So let's just read that real quick and we can get on with the portion.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11, and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Everybody say, come when you're there. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse,
Right.
and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Uh-huh.
And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him.
All right.
The spirit of wisdom,
The spirit of
the
what?
spirit of wisdom
So we know Yahweh Shai has the wisdom,
and understanding,
understanding,
the spirit of counsel
counsel,
and might,
might,
the spirit of knowledge,
knowledge,
and the fear of Yahweh.
the fear of the Most High,
And shall make him of quick understanding
right?
in the fear of Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
And he should not judge after the sight of his eyes,
So he's not resting judgment. Read.
neither reprove after the hearing. But with righteousness shall he judge
Uh-huh.
the poor, and reprove equity before the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth,
Right.
and with the breath of his lips
Uh-huh.
shall he slay the wicked.
Read.
And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins,
Uh-huh.
and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
Right. So we understand Yahweh Shai's spirit is the same spirit how the Most High is moving, man. Right? The Most High gonna lay down that judgment. He's gonna deal with justice. He's gonna deal with the poor the same way he's gonna deal with the rich. And understanding that that's the king that we serve, when we read those red letters, you don't have an option to just throw them away. You must heed, according to our law, you must heed the words of your Yahushua. If you're not, it's going to be required of you. It's going to be required of you. So understand that when you read in those words of Yahushua, when he said don't even look upon another man's wife, take that, right? Take that as law. Take that as law. Because the thing about it is, when we look at the understanding of that, Yahushua is basically saying, listen, don't even put yourself in that position to start thinking like that, right? Don't put yourself in a position that may cause you to commit adultery, which now you have to get the sentence of death, right? Which now you have to have a certain level of lust to be able to walk in that path, in that light, man. So when you read those red letters, man, understand that in our law we must hearken unto Yahushua. Yeah, you know, after that, careful. All right, come. Let's just run through it. Verse 20.
Verse 20. But the prophet which shall presume to command him to speak,
right?
So like it, to speak a word in my name which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods,
right?
Even that prophet shall die. Even if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word of which the Lord hath not spoken?
Agreed.
When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahweh hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, right, thou shalt not be afraid of it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 1. When Yahweh, thy power, hath cut off the nations whose land Yahweh thy power giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coast of the land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither.
So the Most High is going to reiterating the law for the cities of refuge, for that revenge of blood. When you accidentally kill somebody, you'll have this place, this refuge to be at, witness protection until when? Until what? The regular priest, the high priest. What's the purpose of you going to that city of refuge besides protection? So you get a proper trial. Read.
Verse 4. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly.
Ignorantly what?
Ignorantly.
That means there's no intent behind it. Give me Exodus 21 and 12. Because if you kill somebody with intent, what should happen to you? You have to die according to the scriptures. This is something that was always understood from the beginning. Why do you think Cain was afraid when he murdered his brother? From the beginning, from the foundation, everybody understood the law if you murder somebody. Everybody did. But there'll be cases where you may accidentally, when you're cutting a tree with an axe, the axe might fly out, you'll fly out the handle and hit somebody in the head and accidentally kill them. And their family may want to kill you on purpose. So the Most High, being so wise, he gave us the cities of refuge. When you go into the story of Joshua, Joshua tells you exactly where these cities are at. Go ahead and read.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 12.
Read.
He that smiteth a man, so that he died.
That he what?
So that he died.
This is what intent. If you smite somebody, right?
Shall surely be put to death.
He should be what?
Shall surely be put to death.
He should be surely be put to death. That means you will get a whole 12-month trial. No, you don't go to the city of refuge.
Right.
There's no high priest that's you're gonna have to wait to die. That means you have to die because you murdered somebody. But when you kill somebody ignorantly, now you can go into witness protection. Now you go into the city of refuge for a fair trial. Let's go right back.
Go on. Exodus, Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 5. As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood.
So he's going to give us an example. It's like you go into the forest, right?
And his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree. And the head slippeth from the helve.
That means the iron part of the axe flies off. Or let's say he's cutting a tree and he accidentally made the tree fall on that brother or that sister. It falls on accident, right? Read.
And lighted up upon his neighbor.
Uh-huh.
And lighted upon his neighbor that he died.
Uh-huh.
He shall flee unto one of those cities and live.
And live, read.
Lest the avenger of blood pursue the slayer.
Uh-huh.
While his heart is hot.
While his heart is what?
It's hot.
That means he's not even thinking.
Right.
Like, what happened? Let's go bring you before the priest, before the Most High God. Because if somebody murder your relative, you want to talk? No, you want to spin the block. Like, we keep using this house as an example. They spin the block 7 times in 1 week for completion to find this one guy. You're gonna want to spin the block. No questions asked. Right? It's nowhere to park.
And overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him. Whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past.
Because what if the city is too far and this individual can't get there in time? You all the way in Homestead, the city refuge is in Tallahassee. And you know this man got family in Broward and Palm Beach. They already got your picture and looking for you too.
Right.
You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Read.
Stop for gas and then it's caught you on the stove.
Read. Verse 7. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee.
Uh-huh.
And if Yahweh thy power enlarge thy coast, as he had sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love Yahweh thy power, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee beside these 3.
Read.
That innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor,
but if there's intent behind it, you grudging against your brother, read,
and lie in wait for him,
creeping in the bushes, me I kill him, me I stab him, right? Read.
And rise up against him,
and you rise up against your brother, read,
and smite him mortally that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities,
and you murder this man, and then you want to run to the city of refuge.
Right. Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood.
Now you just made it all the way to Tallahassee. Now the elders not going to say nothing to you.
Right.
They know what you did.
Right.
They're going to call Buddy's family. Right. They're going to catch a flight up there, and then you're going to give him happily to that family.
Right. We got to transfer you to another prison. Right? Where he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt transfer. But thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee.
Give me Numbers 35 and 32, I believe. There's a reason why he's saying this about this innocent blood. Because the Most High doesn't want innocent blood being shed amongst our people.
That's right.
Because that land gets defiled that way, man. Yeah, right. It causes a domino effect. You kill somebody unjustly, now you got a whole family beefing with you. Now 3 families are beefing with 3 families.
Right.
Now 7 families are beefing. Now 20 families. Now the whole nation is at civil war with one another.
Right.
That's why the Most High said this. Go ahead and read.
Numbers 35, 32. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge.
35 and 33, I believe.
Come on. 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Because that pollutes the land. Read.
For blood, it defileth the land.
It do what?
It defileth the land.
It defileth the land. Read.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
So your blood got to be shed. Right. Give me Genesis 9. I think it's 9 and 6. Yeah. Your blood have to be shed. Because when that life is gone, that soul crying to the Most High, asking the Most High for justice. Right. That family need justice because the Most High is the just power. Go ahead and read.
Genesis 9 and 6.
Is everybody at Genesis 9 and 6? Go ahead.
Whoso sheddeth man's blood, By man shall his blood be shed.
By his what?
By man shall his blood be shed.
Now, what if it's an Elamite's blood that's being shed by an Israelite? Is that okay? If his blood is being murdered?
Another nation?
Yeah. I'm very specific with my words, right? It's a trick question. Can you murder an Edomite? What about in Moabite? Why not? The word is what the key is what the word I'm using. It's murder. You can't murder nobody. This is before Israel. This is before all of that. The Most High established this. I'm gonna give one of y'all shirts after letting them answer. Read it again, Genesis 9:4. You can't murder no one.
All right.
So it's like this. Can you commit adultery with an Edomite's wife? What about Moabite's wife? That was said already. You can't commit adultery with nobody's woman.
Right.
None whatsoever.
Right.
Not specifying with anybody. You can't do that with nobody. Go ahead and read that. Genesis 9:4.
Genesis chapter 9 verse 6.
Read.
Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed.
So if you murder somebody, your blood got to be shed.
Right.
Didn't David murder Uriah?
Right.
Uriah was a Hittite. He caused him to be murdered. Wasn't that sin counted on David? Yep. And he was a heathen. So you can't murder nobody. Killing somebody is different from murder.
Right.
When you kill somebody from defense or when you going out to war, when we was killing these nations in the wilderness,
right,
the Most High gave us instruction to go kill them,
right,
not murder them.
Right.
So, go ahead.
No, that's a great point. And like you said, we was at war, right? You go in war, hey, you kill people, right? That's the thing of war. So, right, that's a great point. You can't murder anybody. Come on, a great point, man. The book.
Somebody was gonna say something? Or go on.
Yeah, because one of the commandments says that thou shalt not murder.
No, that shall not murder right there. We read it earlier today. Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy 19 and verse 10. That innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him and rise up against him and smite him mortally, that he die and flee into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it.
So the Most High is telling us, when we get into the land, you can't remove your neighbor's landmark. If the house of Ahud is in the land of Benjamin, you can't come from the tribe of Manasseh and then you take away his landmark and say that's part of Manasseh now. Right. Or Reuben's land is a part of Gad's now. Or Gad's land is a part of Dan now. No, the Most High say everybody's land got to be separated. Everybody got to have their own inheritance. You can't remove your neighbor's landmark. Read.
Verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for an iniquity, for any sin, in any sin that sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rises against a man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness and have testified falsely against his brother,
that means he lied, read.
Then ye shall do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother.
Read.
So shalt thou put the evil away from among you.
So imagine if America kept this law, with all these accusations, like Emmett Till, would that happen? Because she brought out that she was lying the whole time.
Right.
So what should have happened to her? She got put to death the same way Emmett Till got put to death. Right. When you see a lot of these things happen to our people, because the laws of the Most High is not being kept here. Give me Habakkuk 1:4. Habakkuk 1:4. It's because the laws of the Most High God is not being kept here. If you're going to lie on somebody, right, saying, oh, they did this, they did that, and if they find out you lying, it's a false report, it got to happen to you. You're going to think twice before you give a false report. Right. You got to think twice before you go live in the face of the judges of the Most High. Go ahead and get that. Once you got that, you go read it. Habakkuk 1 and 4.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4.
Read.
Therefore, the law is slack.
The law is what?
Slack.
The law is who?
Slack.
The law in America is slack. Read.
And judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore, wrong judgment proceeded.
Because wrong judgment proceeded. This is why you see a lot of people get put in jail unjustly. A lot of people is murdered unjustly. All because they're not applying a simple commandment like this. So much issues will be resolved amongst our people if we kept this law. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. How many times you heard somebody say, I heard you were talking about me.
Right.
I heard you was my boyfriend. I heard you was texting my girl. There wouldn't be so much gang violence amongst our people. There wouldn't be so much fighting and battles amongst our people if we applied this law. The mouth of 1 or 2 witnesses. Let's go right back.
Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 19. Salakia, and verse 15.
You ready?
Come, verse 19.
Verse 19, yeah.
Then shall you do unto him as he had ought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put away evil from among you. And those which remain shall fear, and shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any evil among you, such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life.
They said it again, life for life, read.
Eye for eye,
eye for eye,
tooth for tooth,
tooth for tooth,
hand for hand,
hand for hand,
foot for foot,
foot for foot, meaning complete justice in the hands of the Most High. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1.
Read.
When thou goest out to battle against thine enemy, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them.
So the Most High is going to give us some laws before we go to war. When you see the enemy has more military might than you, they're bigger than you, they're stronger than you. Most High is going to give us instruction on what to do. He said, don't be afraid of them. Let's get Sirach 2 and 12 real quick. Sirach 2 and 12. He said, don't be afraid. Why? Because we have the Most High God. The battle's in whose hands? It's in the hands of the Most High. He decides who wins and who loses.
Right.
In ancient times, this is how people used to end disputes. You get your army, I get my army, and whoever wins, God is with them. That's how we used to do things back in the day.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 12.
Say, cut if you have Sirach 2 and 12. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 12. Cut? All right, go ahead.
Woe be to fearful hearts.
Woe be unto what?
Woe be to fearful hearts.
Because the Most High say destruction unto the fearful heart. Because if you fear your enemy, that means you don't have faith in who? You don't have faith in the Most High.
Right.
Because the Most High already said he'll deliver us. He said that he'll fight, he'll be an enemy to our enemies. That's what he already told us that. He told Abraham that before we was on the scene. He said this. So he said when we see opposition and it's greater than us, we can't fear. We can't fear. Is this only physical opposition? What about spiritual opposition? When you feel like you can't defeat, your convention spirit. When you can't defeat that spirit of a sluggard. When you can't defeat that spirit of that lasciviousness. That spirit of hatred in you. When these things look like you just up in and stuck. You're just always going to be this way. Once I say don't be afraid, because why? He's our defense. Go back to where you was at Deuteronomy 20.
Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemy, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them.
Don't be afraid of them,
For Yahweh thy power is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priests shall approach and speak unto the people.
So anytime we're about to go to war in ancient Israel, the priest, whoever priest that's designated to be there, they'll be there and go before the people. And they're going to give a speech to the people to boost the morale. Read.
Verse 3. And shall say unto them,
what are they going to say unto the people?
Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint.
Don't let your hearts what?
Let not your hearts faint.
Read.
Fear not. Do not tremble. Neither be ye terrified because of them. For Yahweh, your power is he that goeth with you. to fight for you against your enemies, to save you.
To do what?
To save you.
Because anytime we win in a battle, who won the battle for us? Anytime you had a sin that you couldn't defeat, who defeated it for you? Who gave you the strength for it? It's the Most High. You Isaiah 41:10. It's the Most High. And this is something that we always got to rehearse in our minds when we're in front of opposition. It's the Most High who's going to defend. It's the Most High who's going to save us. It's the Most High who's going to deliver us. A lot of times we have conversations. How the hell we going to fight Esau in the wilderness?
Right.
Back in the day, it was spear and spear, sword and sword, shield and shield. Now they got nukes, bombs, chemical warfare, drone warfare, drone mosquitoes, drone dogs with Gatling guns.
Right.
How the hell we going to fight them? But the Most High said he's going to be afraid. Don't tremble, because he's going to save us. Right. Go ahead and read that. Isaiah 41:10.
Isaiah 41:10.
Read.
Fear thou not.
What did he say?
Fear thou not.
He says, don't fear. Read.
For I am with thee.
He is what?
I am with thee.
Because the Most High is with us. Read.
Be not dismayed.
Uh-huh.
For I am thy power.
Read.
I will strengthen thee.
What did he say?
I will strengthen
Read.
thee. Yea, I will help thee.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
So the Most High said he'll uphold us. He'll be our strength when that opposition is so great and we think we can't win. Because we're here because we had to go through a lot of opposition to get here.
Right.
It's not easy to come to service. It's not easy to wear your fringes. It's not easy to keep the Passover. It's not easy. Because right now we're doing spiritual warfare, God. And in times to come, we're going to have to stop eating Dorito chips and start working out in the wilderness. We're going to have to do sit-ups. We can't be drinking beer all the time and rum all the time. We're going to have to be in constant physical warfare. But until then, we're in spiritual warfare right now. Because there's no enemy. You can Isaiah 54:17. When we have the Most High with us, man, nothing could come against us. That's what the priest is encouraging the people. Nothing could come against us if you have faith in the Most High. Isaiah 54:7. Go ahead and read. 54:17.
Isaiah 54:17.
Read.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt condemn.
You're going to come victorious. You're going to come on top. Read.
This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh.
This is the heritage Most High promised to us. That he'll be our God and we'll be his people. One of the benefits of being the children of the Most High is having that Most High divine protection. What did the Most High do to the Red Sea during the time of Moses? Didn't he split it? Didn't he plague Egypt? Right. During the time of Joshua, he makes hailstones fall upon the Hamites. Did he stop the sun and the moon for us to win that battle? These are the things that the Most High did for us on a greater scale. So it's nothing for him to make you stop being a liar or a thief or be covetous or be coming here to be able to serve him during the Shabbat service. These are smaller scale things versus stopping the sun and the moon.
Right.
It's nothing for the Most High to take you out of poverty. It's nothing for the Most High to make you a righteous father or a mother or a son. Go ahead.
So with that in mind, how do you hold yourself accountable?
What do you mean, how do you hold yourself accountable?
Like, let's say you go with that mindset, you can't overcome these things. So you just go with the mindset, all right, I don't really gotta, I'm gonna hold myself accountable for it. It's already gonna be.
Let's see. Get Joshua 1:8. After that, give me John 6:29. Let's see. So since you already know the Most High is going to defend you, right? But what do you have to do on your part to defend you? That's what holds you accountable. To get that protection, to get that divine strength, you have to do what in your end? What do you got to do in your end? You got to say it louder. You whispering. What work you got to do? You got to keep the commandments. That's what's going to hold you accountable. Because if you don't keep the commandments, what happens? There's no divine protection. You don't get the benefit of that. So if you desire that, you have to keep the commandments. That's the only way. Read.
Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous.
Make that way what?
Prosperous.
Then you'll make your way prosperous. Then the Most High will protect you. But if you, go ahead. Staying in the faith of the Most High God. We're going to get the scripture there. Give me John 6:29. Because to believe in the Most High is to have works. It's a work just to believe. It's not you just sitting idly by and you get the benefits of the Most High. If that's the case, why the hell are we here today?
Right.
I could be home smoking a spliff or something like that right now.
Right.
If that's the case, we could be out there going to Buffalo Wild Wings right now doing the Shabbat Day of the Most High. If that's the case. If there wasn't a stipulation of getting this benefits of the Most High,
Right.
you only get the benefits if you put in the work. That's the only way. Because if you don't put in the work, what do you get? The punishments.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The book of John, chapter 6, and verse 29.
Everybody at John 6:29?
Yahushua answered and said unto them, this is the work of God.
This is the what?
This is the work of God.
Isn't work in action? Read.
That ye believe.
That you what?
That ye believe.
That you who?
That ye believe.
So there have to be works and actions that reflect your belief of the Most High God. Just like you have to have works and actions to receive the benefits of the Most High. To get the judgments of the Most High, don't you have to do a work in action? It's a work in action to get curses from the Most High too. Let's get James 2:19 in the NLT real quick. I want you to read that for me as well.
They come when y'all got it. James 2:19.
When you got a chance, read the whole chapter of James chapter 2. It talks about that, about faith. To have faith in the Most High, just to believe and just know, okay, I know He's going to protect me. That's not enough. It's not enough. Because doesn't Satan believe in the Most High?
Right.
Doesn't the demons believe in the Most High God? Esau knows there's a Most High God. The devil does. Let's read.
James 2:19 in the NLT.
Read.
You say you have faith.
Don't you have everybody say they have faith? You say you have faith. Read.
For you believe that there is one God.
I know I'll be protected. I know the Most High deliver me. I know He'll make my ways prosperous. Read.
Good for you.
What did he say?
Good for you.
What did the Bible say?
Good for you.
Kudos. Read.
Even the demons believe this.
What did he say?
Even the demons believe this.
If you have faith like this, if you have understanding of the Most High's ways like that, shoot, you're on the same level with the demons. They believe that too. But there's something that separates you from the spirit on the left hand, Satan and these demons. There's something that separates y'all two. Read.
And they tremble in terror.
The difference between you and them, they actually fear the Most High to do what He requires of them.
Right.
If you fear the Most High, you believe in Him, you're going to do what's required of you of the Most High God to get what you desire of the Most High God.
Right.
Because there's nobody who sits idly by and do nothing and get anything from the Most High.
Right.
Even in this world, can you sit around in a four-corner room full of candles and you be a CEO?
Right.
No, you can't. You're going to be a rocket scientist? No, you cannot. You have to go exercise what you believe in through your works to get what you desire. Let's go right back.
Con, and you Cap brings a good point, because I think I kind of had this revelation of what Cappy just explained happened to me this week, because I've been looking for a new job and things of that sort, and I was kind of at a little gig that I picked up, and I just prayed to the Most High, like, Most High, I need your help. I need something more stable. And I went back upstairs to check my phone. Job called me back. All right, said he wanted to interview with me next week. And then there was another dude who I met at a job that I previously applied to, and he gave me the number to the general manager. And I'm like, hey, I realized that it's not that we're not going to go through stuff, but when we are going through things, we can count that our prayers, because we keep the commandments, because we keep the faith, that our prayers will be heard for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just crazy that within that same hour of me speaking that, something came through. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the Most High was withholding those calls to come to me so that I could say that, and then it could all just kind of line up. So that in reading that, when our enemies coming after us, if we've been all right, what happens? We defeat our enemy. But we can obviously see when we're not keeping the commandments, right? And the Babylonians want to come, what happens? They carry us over to Babylon, right? The Most High allows us to get beat. Because the Most High say, y'all not doing what I say, y'all not keeping the commandments. Well, I'm going to put up a fight for y'all, right? But when we keep those commandments, we can just think about how unstoppable we are as a nation. Because the Most High is with us. And ain't nobody beat the Most High. Like you said with the Egyptians, this is the strongest, this is the top nation in the earth. This is Egypt, bro. This is Egypt, man. And the Most High destroyed their army in one just, y'all hold that real quick, all right?
Y'all hold that real quick. And after that, we never had no problem with Egypt no more, man. Right? I believe the Pharaoh, when King Solomon was reigning, gave his daughter unto Solomon, right? He said, yeah, you know what? Listen, man, hey, don't be the wife of those Israelites over there, man, right? Because he know the history. He know that the Most High don't play, right? He's trying to get a little bit of that Israelite protection, man, right? But understand it, man. When you keep these commandments, when you get into that position, when you get down bad, man, and you pray unto the Most High, you'll see what the Most High can do for you, man. You'll see what the Most High can do for you. Let's go back to the portion. Deuteronomy.
I want you to get Proverbs 6.
Proverbs 6.
Start from verse 6.
All right, come. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways.
Consider her what?
Consider her ways.
Solomon is telling us, go look at the ants. Because this is something that we always understood in the world. Sometimes when we come into the truth, we forget, we think it's all magical now.
Right.
It's very most times a fairly odd parent. Right. It's not like that in the truth. In the world, if you wanted something, what did you have to do? You got to go out and go get it. You got to run for it. Yeah. But when we're in the truth, we understand it's the Most High who gives it to us. So we got to even go grind harder for it. Because we know if we desire it, we got to put in that work. Right. So Solomon tells us, we got to get it one more time.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard.
A sluggard is somebody who's lazy. That's right. Look at the ants, sluggard. What do you always see ants doing? Working. When it's hot, what do you see them doing? In the rain, in the cold, they're working. Read. And they're very structured and organized. Read.
Consider her ways and be wise. Which having no guide.
Having no what?
No guide.
That means they don't have nobody beating them over the neck. Did you forget this? Did you do this? Did you wake up? Did you make sure you call the brothers to be at Shabbat on time? He looked the other way. You know what I'm talking about. The ants don't have nobody waiting over them to have them do what they need to do when they have to do it.
Right. Read. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler,
read,
provided her meat in the summer.
They get everything they desire at its appointed time. Right. Read.
And gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep?
What did he say?
How long wilt thou sleep?
What did the scripture say?
How long wilt thou sleep?
How long are you going to continue being lazy?
Right.
How long are we going to continue sleeping? Because the Most High is not a pixie. He's not a genie.
Right.
He's not going to come down here and do it for you. He's already in the heavens. Right. He has ministers of fire that bring him wine. Scripture said this, he got ministers of fire. You're the one who needs the house, the car,
right,
the lifestyle, the vacay, the high credit. You don't need all of that.
Right.
He don't need it.
Right.
So Solomon said, how long are you going to continue sleeping? Read.
Oh, sluggard.
Oh, what?
Oh, sluggard.
Read.
When wilt thou arouse out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands,
little
to
laziness.
Sleep.
Read.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth.
Nothing is going to come from that. So you got to get up and go get it. You got to go grind. I remember a brother said this quote to me in high school one time. He said, "Slow feet don't eat." That's an NFL. I think that's a football thing, right? Slow feet don't eat.
I don't know. That sounds like that's from the hood. I ain't gonna lie. Slow feet don't eat.
That's what he said to me in high school. I was like a junior when he told me that. Slow feet don't eat. You have to go out and go get it. You got to get it how you live, righteously.
Right.
So let's go right back.
That's a great point. Yeah, you got to get it how you live, man. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that work. Like we said, when we were building up the tabernacle in the wilderness, man, our people was in overdrive, man. They was bringing so much, because Moses had to command that, hey, that's it. Yeah. Right? That's the type of desire we gotta have towards the Most High God. Go hard for the Most High, because our reward, we can't even really imagine it. That's what should keep you motivated. You can't even really imagine. I gotta see what this reward is. I got to, because I can't even imagine it. Right? I can imagine having 5 mansions, right, on every coast of the world, right? A private jet, a helicopter, right?
Couple properties in
right? Couple properties in Emo, an infinity pool, right? A 5-acre closet. I can imagine those things, but the Most High said you can't even imagine what I got for you, man. So that should be your motivation to put that work in, that and just the love for the Most High Yahushua. Deuteronomy chapter 20.
and verse 5. And the officer shall speak unto the people, what man is there that have built a new house and have not dedicated it?
So he's going to go into the guidelines of things that could distract you in war. Right? And we fight against spirits and principalities. There's things that may stop you from going and go serve the Most High. So he says, what man have not dedicated his house? Meaning, if this brother in ancient times had just got a house, he didn't get to beautify it, he didn't get to live in it yet, enjoy it. That might be a distraction, because the whole time you going sword for sword with the Hamites, sword to bone, because you know how they are. And you thinking about, damn, my AC on in the crib. Right. I don't know what it feels like for the AC to be on 60 at the crib.
Right.
And then the Hamite hit you over the head with a stone, you dead.
Right.
Read.
Let him go and return to his house.
You got to go home. Read.
Lest he die in battle and another man dedicated.
That means another man going to be kicking it up in your house.
Right.
Read.
And what man is he that have planted a vineyard and have not eaten of it yet?
That means you got new grapes coming in. Woo! Bananas, I'm going to fry it up. Some festival dumplings. Right? Some pickles.
Right.
Read.
Let him also go and return unto his house.
You're going to have to go back, because you're going to be worried about how the pickles taste in the winter.
Right.
How the fried banana tastes in the spring. Read.
Lest he die in the battle and another man eat of it.
Read.
Right? And don't, and you know, don't, I was just thinking, don't be fearful hearted. You know, the soldiers bring back the report, they see the Moabites, right, trying to come over, and then you say, let me go plant this vineyard real quick, so that I don't gotta go to war, right? Don't try to make up an excuse to not fight for your people, man, right? Because you gotta think about it. At what age is a man eligible to go to war? At 20, right? I mean, you had to have some type of level of maturity to yourself, man, right? In this age, we're not acquiring houses until probably 30, right? Something like that. Most of us aren't really seriously taking our wives to probably about 25, 24. So understanding these things, right? Don't put yourself in a position where it's like, all right, well, you know, y'all boys, you know, I would really like to join the camp, but, you know, I just bought a garden, and, you know, I got my eye on this sister, and I'm thinking about marrying her, right? And the brothers asked you last year to join the camp, right? The brother now you see the brothers, you like, dang, let me try to get into something so the brothers can understand why I'm taking so long. Nah, man, right? Put in the work for the Most High, because guess what? The Most High, you could be getting a scorpion, right? That wife that you trying to avoid going out to do the work, that might be a scorpion, man, right? The Most High might give you all these things, and they might not turn out to be what you really wanted. So don't put yourself in a position where now you're trying to create a scenario why you can't go out there and do the work for your people. All right? Put in the brick however it is that you can. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, and verse 7. Mm-hmm. And what man is there that have betrothed a wife?
That means you just got a boo.
Right?
You're about to seal the deal. Read.
And have not taken her.
And have not what?
And have not taken her.
You get to enjoy some booed up time. You're like the scriptures say, ravished in her love. You didn't get to enjoy that time yet. Read.
Let him go and return unto his house.
Scripture say you gotta go back to the crib.
All right.
Because the whole time you supposed to hold down the fort. Damn. I seen her laugh with that brother at Publix.
Right.
I like how she was laughing too hard at his joke.
Right.
And the whole time arrow hits you in the fort. Because you distracted about your bull, you're supposed to be fighting for the people.
Right.
Read.
Lest he die in the battle, and another man take her.
And he said another man won't take her. And that could go, like you said, sometimes your woman could hold you back from doing the work of the Most High God sometimes.
Right.
That's true. Some brothers, they be big brothers, and the woman give them that eye, and then they're already disciplined into the whip already. Instead of going out there and doing the work of the Most High God.
All right.
Read.
And the officer shall speak further unto the people.
What else he gonna say?
And they shall say, what man is there that is fearful?
That is what?
Fearful.
That is who?
Fearful.
Read.
And faint-hearted.
And what?
And faint-hearted.
That means you a coward.
Right.
You chicken, you shook. Why are we going to camp at the ghouls at 12?
Right.
Right. What if my boss fired me?
Right.
What if my girl's mad at me this weekend?
Right.
Because I got to go teach the people so we can get the hell out of America.
Right. What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house.
That means you go back home.
Right.
And I use this example all the time. We always meet people like that in the world, right? When you about to go do something, and then you have that one person, what if we get beat up? what if they win?
Right.
What's the comment you say to them?
Right.
If you're scared, go back home.
Yeah, go to the crib, bro.
Go back to home. This is something we always understood.
Right.
You can't be fearful trying to go out and go do the work of the Most High God. Because fear is a disease. It's going to hop on everybody else. You worried about the vineyard. You worried about your wife. You worried about this crib. You worried about this, and that. Everybody got something they worried about. Everybody's jeopardizing their life to fulfill the will of the Most High God. It's better you go back home than you make everybody else feel that same coward spirit you have.
Right. And just how you bring that up is like, you know, the cities are small, so you know when it's a big party coming up, 9 times out of 10, you might see the boys from the other block, but you still finna go. You just have it in your mind like, let's be on our P's and Q's, right? But like you said, if there's one brother like, nah, bro, I don't think we should go. You know the boys gonna be there. You gonna kind of be giving the side eye like, you tripping. Like, you tripping. You should stay to the crib, bro. He ain't riding with me. He got to ride with somebody else, right? So that's exactly what Cal's saying, man. You got that fearful, faint-hearted. Because the Most High told us, right, that these people going to be hard-headed, man. And he said, don't worry about the look that they give you. How many times have we been cussed out and threatened at camp? And we just setting up the equipment. We ain't even started yet, right? We ain't even started. We've been told, go home, go be with y'all wives, go do this. And we just have to stand there and contend with the people, man. Because the Most High told us they was going to act like that. But we know that we can't be, if every time they cut us out, we packed up and went home, it will travel around the city. Hey, man, if those Israelite brothers come to y'all hood, just cuss them out real quick. Them boys going to slide. Them boys ain't really bothering. They going to go home. But if the report is, bro, no matter how much you cuss them out, if you tell them you're going to spin the block, all they're going to do is turn the speaker up louder and continue,
come back again for the rest of the month.
and continue speaking and keep coming back. Guess what? That's what it's going to be. Right? That's what it's going to be. Because we know that we have the Most High on our side, man. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, and verse 9. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of the speaking unto the people, that they shall make them captains of armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it.
What did he say?
Then proclaim peace unto it.
So after we do the whole speech, now the Most High said, when you go out and go fight, first proclaim peace. This is a scripture you can use in your own personal life. Because if somebody comes with opposition towards you, does that mean you just up and go fight them, that's it? No. You should always try to result to peace first before opposition. This is what this is teaching us. Because the Most High is not teaching us to go out there and just destroy people for no reason. And not give no opportunity for them to have any type of peace or some type of agreement or truce. With the Canaanites in the land of Israel, he said exterminate them. But other than that, he said, yo, listen, try to politic, try to see if you can get some type of peace terms. First, read.
And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries.
What?
Tributaries.
Tributary means you tax them.
Right.
They pay you, you're their servants, they're under you. Read.
And unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee.
If it make no what?
No peace with thee.
Imagine you say, yo, sis, you're too close, calm down. Like you're aggressive.
Right.
But the whole time she don't know you have the real fist of the lion.
Right.
Read.
But will make war against
But then
thee.
you go out in your personal space. They don't want to let you proclaim peace, read.
Then thou shalt besiege it.
Then you put them on their behind.
Right.
Then you besiege that city.
Right.
But first, what did the Most High tell us to do first?
Proclaim peace.
Proclaim peace.
Right.
We have to be that lamb first. Like Yahushua came as the lamb first.
God.
And if they don't want that peace, then you come as the lion, like Yahushua is coming back as a lion.
Right.
Read.
What? I'm just all these memories that just come back because the Danites, the Gadites was, those were the warriors, man. So you can just imagine the Gadites, right, being in the front, going to these people like, hey, listen, y'all boys just vibe. Because just imagine you in the back and you chilling and you just see a Gadite just take off on somebody. You already know that they proclaim war, right? Gadite just take off. It's just like we in the hood, right? Hey, I'm gonna go talk to bro real quick, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Your dog, they talking, and then you see your homeboy just spit him. What you gonna do? It's on now, right? Everybody fighting now. That's how I used to go. I'm gonna go holler at bro real quick, see what he on. Then next thing you know, see just a punch on everybody. I already know. Everybody has a story.
No, I got one that happened this year.
Oh,
good.
God. I remember reading some brothers were going out, and I think I took to Maya, and you know the story. My brother knows the story. Nasap, he was there. He could give his input to his testimony. So we went out. We was enjoying ourselves. We was going out, and there was a group of brothers and I think sisters that was brushing up on us. And the whole time they're on us, they're walking up on us. And I gotta make sure I'm, give light details because I don't want to incriminate myself. So the whole time they're pushing up on us, we're becoming people like, yo, chill, we don't got your stuff, relax. Right. And they're coming closer, right? And I said, listen, if you come to it again, I'm gonna take up on you. I'm gonna split you. And they did it again. And I threw a 3-piece, and the other brothers started going to war with them too, and then we won. The Most High was with us and not with them.
Right.
But first we became peace though.
Right.
So that's just a story that just came to mind. I don't know if you want to add
Nah,
on to that, but
That's how it go though, right? That's how it go. Everybody can think about that one time when y'all was out somewhere and you once you see your homeboy throw that punch, it was whatever, right? But in a sense, that like Cap say, we can in our lives go with that, right? Somebody they come with the rah-rah, you be like, hey, listen, let's calm down.
Relax.
Let's talk.
That's
Right? Let's talk like men. Let's try to handle this civilly. But our people, nah man, F that. I ain't know nothing that you want. Well then now you gotta get ready to fight. Because he not trying to hear it, she not trying to hear it. Right? They on go mode. The only thing that's gonna resolve this is now a fist fight. Right? Now probably once you win that fight, they might be like, all right, bro, let's just talk it out. Right? Because now they done been home. But the Most High, like you said, the Most High, we aren't savages. We're just not going to people's land and just exterminating them just because we seen that they got 20-foot fig trees, right? Or pomegranates growing on every corner. But guess what? The Most High did allow us to the lands that were round about. We went into the people, proclaimed peace unto it. It became our tributaries, and that's how it went. Right? So, like I said, we aren't savages. We just don't go around just taking people's stuff. Right? We proclaim peace onto it, but guess what? Now, if they want to come to opposition, we besiege it. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 13. And when the Most High hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword, but the women and the little ones, and the cattle, and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself. And thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemy, which Yahweh thy power hath given thee.
so the Most High said we'll destroy it. We'll take the women out. There'll be servants. The children will be servants, and you'll take all the resources in that city. Read.
But the cities of Salaki, verse 15. But thou shalt do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these people, which Yahweh doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing.
What did he say?
Thou shalt save alive nothing.
So he says, regarding our inheritance, you exterminate everything living in the land.
Right.
Read.
But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as Yahweh thy power hath commanded you, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which ye have done unto their gods. So should ye sin against Yahweh thy power. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them.
So why is he telling us not to destroy the trees when we go in and conquer and besiege a city? Why?
They produce food.
Exactly. They produce food. They produce things that we need.
Right.
Things that exactly for our livelihood.
Right.
So Most High is giving us wise instruction not to destroy the ecosystem in that land. Read.
For thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down. For the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down. And thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued.
So when it comes to the trees, like these trees right here, we would cut them down and use them for the siege, whether it's for gates or forts, or something like those things police use to break the gates.
Yeah, come.
They use these things to break the gates down and rush into the city. Really? Yeah, con. But you know how the police be having the thing that be like this?
Yeah.
Like one of these things.
Yeah.
Con.
Deuteronomy 21. If one,
To a verse?
to verse 9.
Okay, go ahead.
If one be found slain in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it,
So the Most High is giving us an instruction into the land of Israel. When we're in the land, He said, if you find somebody who's dead, a dead body, read.
lying in the field, and it be not known who has slain him.
Nobody know. Just like men in society, you want to see a dead body?
Right.
Read.
Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth.
What did he say?
Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth.
The Most High said, if you see a dead body in this field, the leadership of that city, the governing eyes of that city, they gotta come out. Read.
And they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain.
Now they gotta see what's the closest city to that city where that dead body is found. Read.
And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take in heifer.
So imagine if a dead body is found in Broward, right? Broward County. They'll call people from Palm Beach and Miami. What's going on here? Everybody will have to present themselves. Because somebody got to know what's going on.
Right.
It's the elder's job and the judge's job to what? Watch over the people and know the state of the people, what's going on. Who's being killed, who's not being killed, who sinned, who did not sin. There should be some type of record. Read.
Even the elders of that city shall take in heifer,
Read.
which have not been wrought with, and which have not drawn in the yoke.
This is a female cow. Read.
And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown.
Read.
And shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley.
So they're going to cut off the cow's head off. Read.
And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them the Most High thy power shall choose to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of Yahweh. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried.
So the Levites, the priests that the Most High choose to go and handle the situation, they're going to ask questions. Yo, where were you when this happened? Who is this guy? Where is he from? What tribe? What family? What about you? Do you guys know anybody who know him from your city? What about you? They're going to investigate. Just like the previous chapters, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, we'll do blood between blood, plea between plea. We'll do a thorough investigation. How did this happen? Read.
Verse 6. All the elders of that city that are next to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it.
So they'll
Wash it so to be guiltless. A lot of times, I don't know if Jamaicans, Benjamins do this when they do it like this, when they don't have nothing to do with something. I know Haitians, we do that a lot. They'll wash their hands on it. Right, yeah, like that, right? We have nothing to do with this.
Read.
Verse 8. Be merciful, O Yahweh, unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed. And lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them.
That means the Most High forgive because these guys don't have nothing to do with it. Read.
So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh.
Let's give the Most High a round of applause.
So we can go around the room real quick before we go into the announcements. What's one thing everybody learned that they did not know today? We're going to start with Lacombe, and we'll go around. You got to speak up.
What we learned today?
Yes. What did you learn that was new today that you didn't know?
Our heritage, to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments.
So before today, you didn't know about you had to keep the law, statute, commandments?
Yeah.
Then you got to give us something new. What didn't you know that you learned something new?
That we should where's most high from.
Okay. Ok, sa maman do ki bagay nou bo ou konen jodi ya, nan etid sa. Ou ba konen lot semen nou do vini la sou Sabbath.
The bag of finance is like
Ki moun? Chris?
yeah.
Okay, come on. What genealogy Christ came from? Like, how about that?
Something that you learned today from the portion.
Can't recall anything right now. I think some of the stuff I already
Gotta make sure we make the questions harder than the reviews. Everybody, if we ain't learned nothing new today, I mean, we had all the breakdown 100% today.
You can't go to war with a fearful heart.
Okay.
I got some more scriptures on how to prove that the words that Yahweh speak come from the Father.
Fine.
So I got some.
Okay.
I got some meat on that.
Officer Malka, okay.
Fine.
Officer Kamaya.
I would say about what the king has to do, like the certain laws and stuff that he has to follow, and then about the unknown murder crime. Like, I didn't know about that.
Same thing with the king, as far as him multiplying horses and multiplying wives. It doesn't mean that you can't have more than one horse and more than one wife. It's just you can't just be like, I can have as many horses as I want.
All right, gluttonous in a sense.
Right.
Being excessive.
Right.
If a difficult matter is presented and it has to go to like the priests or the high officers, and the person rejects their judgment, it's seen as an evil thing between the eyes of the Most High.
Khan. Officer Matapu.
Basically, everybody said something that I hope you said that. The law about Moses explained that we should have another prophet among us who we should follow. And we go through scriptures proving that Christ is that person that we should follow and we should hear among brothers.
So it being in our law to hearken unto Yahushua, if you don't hearken unto Yahushua, that's considered a what?
Considered a transgression.
Yeah, it's considered a sin to the law found in Deuteronomy 18. So, Khan, let's give most out an applause again. We don't have any current or don't have the announcements that was posted right now, but we do know that we have Slakia sisters class. Marco, when is the next sisters class?
This Monday.
So this Monday 7 p.m. again. Via Google Meets. All right, so we'll post it in the Miami chat later so that everybody can be updated as to all the upcoming events and everything like that. As far as here, any questions, comments, or concerns or anything that we went over? We're gonna get that update from the when they. Yeah, we're gonna get that updated and then post it in the chat later, so that we can have the most updated information about it.
Like for those that we have certain places, what is it, cabins or fields and stuff like that. So the next step is to get a tent, right?
Yeah, well, the way how it goes is that they have cabins there, but then you have to rent out the certain space for the tent. So I don't know if that's already all been took up. Okay, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and do that, then you just go on the website and you go ahead and reserve that spot for the dates that we're going to be there. So
when it comes to that, the cabins are taken up. The spaces are all rented out. I know there's like certain people that if it's only like one person or not a lot of people on a tent site, you can basically room with that person. You just have to. That's a personal arrangement. And then also LSD is gonna rent out the primitive area. That's the area that was kind of like more woodsy area. So it would just be us for anybody else that needs that space. But it's remember it was no like electric.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, so you gotta kind of have like a generator or something like that.
Extension cord to plug up,
Well, but from what I remember, like the camp, like those lots or whatever, only have like 4 things or whatever.
Okay, so Sister Javier said that her tent site is the closest to the primitive area. She was like, she wouldn't mind sharing electricity because if you plug in one, it has 7 on the thing, like it's multiple.
Oh, all right, yeah. I see what you're saying.
So that's an option as well.
All right, But we'll get more details on it once we get the update from headquarters. So with that being said, Amania Wapania Hakudam, rise and face the east. Book of Psalms, chapter 67, in the last one, Kodash, repeat the Hebrew. Natazah.